welcome to Bloodstain's monthly podcast. On today's episode, we talk about our film of the month, Marvel's Brave New World, our short on the month, which we'll reveal later. Also talking about everything awards in the heat of the film award season. We'll also have Robin's guessing score game, Guy's film trivia, and our sorting tasks for the month. So please stay tuned. Watch out for them spoilers. Welcome. I'm your host, Joe, and I am joined with...
James.
Callum. Ryan. And Guy.
We're just going to go over what we've seen. So James wasn't here last time, so I'm sure he's got a lot to talk about in terms of film-wise. I watched The Substance, which we spoke about last month. Having you obviously watched that prior, but I had not seen it. Yeah, that's pretty mental. That was...
I didn't attempt to watch it out of its strange nature. That's what I thought.
I think you might like it. It's pretty disgustingly horrible.
I heard good things.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The only thing is, it's something I've definitely seen before. It's kind of like the whole Fountain of Youth type thing that they've just kind of reinvented again. There's an old film, I can't remember the name. I think it might even be a Disney. It's not, an 18 like this, and it's violent. But there's one where there's a woman who's, I think, a model, and she finds like a perfume that kind of gives her everlasting life. But obviously, as these things, there's always a cost. And at the end, she falls into pieces on a stair, on a flight of stairs. I don't know if anyone knows what that is.
Mrs. made me watch it, but it's not like Substance, I don't think.
But it's the same concept in the sense that they're looking for... I mean, it's a while since I've watched that, so you might be able to tell me different.
Yeah, well, I didn't think so, but
No.
kind of get a little bit from what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, to name another... Was it... Cabinet of Curiosities, that thing that Del Toro, the director, did. Well, he presented with different directors doing shorts. There's a short episode within that where there's an older lady that gets like a cream, and she applies it to her face, and it makes her more youthful, I'm sure. And then with each passing time that she does it, it comes at a cost. She's kind
Are you sure you're not thinking about that Catwoman film, that bad one?
No.
In Catwoman, they had the whole makeup that made you look young, but it also did damage.
Yeah, right. Something done a few times. Then.
Yeah, that was the one with is it Halle Berry? Yeah. I'm sure it had something to do with makeup in that.
Definitely. Well, there you go. It's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
It's a Clayface thing.
Clayface.
He uses the same, like makeup.
Yeah.
Try and make him younger, and then he ends up like a blob.
Oh, that's how he ends up.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I haven't heard much.
It's still, I mean, it was still pretty good. I mean, that thing at the end is fucking mental.
On The Substance.
Yeah.
Right. I might watch it just for this.
It is good. You honestly, you won't be disappointed. It is pretty good. There's not much detail in the backstory of her as a character, though. I mean, it's just kind of just throws you straight into it.
She's just trying to get back where she was when she was young, wasn't she? And they don't want her kind of thing.
Kind of.
Like
there's obviously a massive
beauty thing, and
it's obviously a message to how it is in those.
how harsh it is.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the big shot producer somewhere in his tower, and he's a bit of a prick. And
do you feel it succeeds with its message, though?
Absolutely, it becomes apparent as to what it is from the first 10 minutes of watching it.
Like, do you feel that actually gives the film a lot of its depth then by having a message and having a clear goal in mind?
I think yes, in that sense, but I think that is what it's all about. When I say I think everybody is kind of seeing something of that nature and that message before, I feel like there should have been something a little bit more from the story to add to the layer of it, in my opinion.
So what you're saying is certain events feel like they happen more to push the plot along than actual natural situations.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because I know that is seen in a lot of films where you get these moments where something will happen and you're like, oh, that had to happen.
It's relied a lot on the message as opposed to what it could be outside of that. The cinematography in it is rather good, and obviously the makeup and all that kind of stuff's amazing. Yeah, and performance, she's great in it. Demi Moore is awesome. I mean, she was given a nomination.
Always forget his name, but I like the actor. He's in Day After Tomorrow in a lot of other films.
Yeah.
He's
The dad,
shrimping that scene.
he's in
It's
it.
just close to his mouth.
Yeah.
Subtle.
stylistically, that's a very good scene. Actually, now that you brought that
It
up,
is.
because the whole thing is really disgusting and grotesque. It really has a close up on the eating. It's a little bit like Lord of the Rings, where he's eating the tomatoes, kind of feel.
Where's popping in his mouth?
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, and that's all added to it. There's even bits where he's smoking, I think, as well, and he's having a drink, and it's all horrible. And yeah.
Did you notice the shining carpet?
I did in the trailer.
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
in the hallway.
No.
Was it just one scene where it showed?
That's
I think going back to that
Oh, okay.
hallway bit.
black and white, right? Or is it red?
It's like the red and orange, yellow bits with the patterns in it.
I'm trying to remember what it is. Well thought found. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Normally you pick up on that kind of thing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it's so disgusting it just distracted you.
If it said red room anywhere, I would have noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else I watched? I've watched a film called Bergman Island, which is pretty good. It's got Tim Roth in it. That was on that movie as well. It's kind of about a film director that goes to, I think it's the islands north of here. What they called? They're a part of Norway. I can't remember what they're called.
I wouldn't know myself.
Anyway, a collective of small islands, and they go to where he lived at one point, and he got inspiration for his films. And obviously, like Bergman's really surrealistic, and it's got horror, like nasty characters in as well. And it's kind of happens at the same time when this guy goes with his partner, and their relationship starts to fall apart because she sees kind of similarities in him. Like, it's interesting. That was pretty.
Is it like a similarity between him and his characters?
Sorry.
Is it similarities between him and his characters?
No, well there is kind of a little bit of that. So I don't want to go spoil that too much. But she sees when they see things in Bergman that was kind of like characters against the women and the evil within men and such like that, and how she found it terrible, and he kind of doesn't necessarily see it as being as bad. But then obviously when she then starts to watch his films and kind of sees similarities, and it's weird. And their kind of relationship kind of falls apart. But there's weird surrealism in it as well. There's a little nod in it where I noticed there's a statue when they're in a museum and the eyes move, and it's fucking freaky.
I think it's good though when like films can give you with the simplest idea can scare you.
Yeah.
Like I think some of the best horror things are done with the simplest techniques. Like those angels in Doctor Who that when you blink they move?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
such a simple concept. The problem is now they don't work as well because it's been overused. But when they originally came out, that was
that was actually. I remember that as a kid. That was a scary episode.
Yeah.
Well, it stayed with me. I remember it now.
Yeah.
There's a similar concept on a horror movie called Lights Out, where this woman can only move in the dark.
Oh.
So if they're in the light, they're safe. But as soon as the light goes out or something happens, you can move right to him.
Yeah, is that
It's quite a scary one.
a famous actress, Sandra Bullock?
No, not that.
Am I thinking of another one?
Yeah.
Where she's got a blindfold on.
Bird Box.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Where they can't see it at all.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of similar to A Quiet Place a little bit. It's
Yeah.
just sort of like how quiet it is because it's
a sensory
noise.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's very good. Both films are good at that as well.
I've not seen the third though. I don't know.
No, only two are good. The third one's shite.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Did you? Oh, sorry.
Why is the third one bad though?
There's something. The first two, they're just the movement and the sound and all the scenes. They're just really cool. Especially how there's plenty of scenes in the second one where someone gets whacked by them and they fly like a rag doll. It all looks real and cool. And in the third one, which is prequel essentially because it's the outbreak.
Day One, is it called?
Yeah, Day One. And no, there's just scenes where they're almost stealthily going around in the smoke and just pulling people in and stuff like that. When then typically they don't care; they just mash everything that makes.
Sounds like there's a loss of dramatic tension.
Yeah. There's just something. There's something like that because it wasn't the same guy that directed it.
Was it not?
No, I don't think so.
It sounds like you have a similar thing. How I like 28 days later, but I hate 28 weeks later.
Yeah, but I think everyone's got to agree with that.
No.
I quite like 28 weeks later.
Opening scene's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
No, I
take
don't
that
like
away.
the fact that
Robert Carlyle back to being a nasty bastard.
He is good. To be fair, yeah.
After
Okay,
being
yeah,
Monarch
he's
of the
good, isn't
Glen on Sunday evenings and all nice and
I
friendly
still
to
remember
you.
seeing that film and just being told that the electrician has access to every room when
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
but-
military base.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
I like how they leave him in a room with a girl and there's just no one about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
And it's like,
You
it's
can go
like-
in there.
It's go in there with your wife.
Yeah,
we know
yeah.
you're probably going to kiss
Yeah,
her.
it'll be
Then,
fine,
you
yeah.
know, it's
That's a
fine.
really cool outbreak scene though when they all
Oh,
start
yeah.
getting
No,
yeah.
in the basement and all start.
There are elements to the film that hit, but I think
Jeremy Renner.
The haunting bit for
Yeah.
me was that the troops are walking the streets with the flamethrowers and just
Yeah, Jeremy Renner.
it's just so cold and chilling.
But
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of plot moving on because it needed to. Like, the writer was like, well, this doesn't seem realistic to have this electrician with this access to all his rooms, but we need him to have that in order to trigger the
the
outbreak.
next bit.
Yeah. So I think then, sometimes, it is a bit of a jump. You have to decide, like, is it worth...
The writing can become
Yeah.
a bit abstract
Yeah.
when it's trying to create a plot line that follows.
Yeah,
To the
to
next
basically to make the inciting
Yeah.
incident, yeah.
Well, in contrast to the first one, it's very different, isn't it? I mean, the first is a
Yeah.
masterpiece for me. It's
This,
like one of the best summer heroes ever.
28 years
Some
later, the
films.
trailer, that does look like it's on the same sort of
Foot as
carefully
second one.
done as the first one, like something unique
I
kind of thing.
think Danny Boyle's back on board,
Yes,
for it,
he
isn't
is,
he?
yeah. Yeah, because he produced the second, didn't he? And he just made the first one, didn't he? Really?
It has the same special feel.
I hear it's all been shot with a phone.
Yeah, I did look at their equipment photos. It's the phone, and then the rest of it is like a giant.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
ball
it
of
looks like a
electronics,
spaceship.
and It's kind of like, well, it's
Yeah.
not. They're not holding an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's part of a sophisticated
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So.
But then why not just use a normal camera
I
then?
don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's just like they stick a Sony on top of it. You know what I mean?
But then I suppose if you're using a phone, you've got the sensor size and things like that that sort of it gives sort of like a first person sort of feel.
Yeah, that gritty
sort
kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would rather them do that than do shaker cam. I'm so glad shaker cam seems to be pushed out of Hollywood. Because at one point, shaker cam was so popular in Hollywood, you could watch a film and be like, oh, this looks really good, and shake, shake, shake,
Yeah.
shake, and you're just like, no. And 9% of that was just so they could save on sets. Because if the camera's shaking like that, you can't look at the set. You can't see how bad the set is because you can't focus on it.
Okay.
And a lot of that was behind it. But obviously, it didn't work very well with audiences, especially 3D pushed that out.
I think the use of shaky cam needs to be not necessarily the theme of an entire film, whereas it needs to just be for segments of a film, like an action sequence. It kind of makes sense for it to be like, oh, someone gets hit, and it kind of makes it feel like, oh, I've just been hit. You know what I mean? Where the whole thing rumbles
Sort
a bit,
of, but I still
but not
feel,
consistently throughout. perhaps.
the John Wick films don't use shaky cam, but I think their action scenes are fantastic.
Does that make them too clean?
No.
No?
No, it looks like they're being hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of action films, because I love my fight scenes,
Yeah.
when someone's getting hit,
You
they
actually
shake
said the
it,
wrong-
it's
you
just
meant- you
not
meant to
see
say you
the
love
thing.
Keanu Reeves,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, oh, he got hit, and it doesn't show the impact, so maybe it's to disguise an impact. But if it's done right with good choreography and stuntmen, they can really look like they're getting walloped.
Yeah. And Keanu Reeves does his own stunts as well, which I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
To which I know someone who's in Ballerina.
Yes, you do, which is wicked.
I do.
That's one of the coolest things.
Yeah, do an acting class with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do want to see
He
that.
does wushu in his spare time. He's a wushu expert.
Wushu.
Wushu.
And now you have a very good excuse to watch Ballerina when it comes out.
I will watch him. Apparently he dies, so that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Imagine dying on screen. That's so
You
cool,
can
isn't
just
it?
point that.
Yeah, there he is.
If he gets called by, what's her name? Who's the main actress?
I don't quite. I haven't really done my homework on any of that.
Oh,
really.
right, I
I
see.
don't really know what.
But,
I haven't even watched that. I think I've seen John Wick 1 and 2.
You missed 3 and
I've-
4. Mate,
I've
4.
and 4.
Yeah.
Mate,
I've seen
4
more.
is an action masterpiece.
I don't know.
All of them are. All the whole
it's,
lot.
It's
is
good, but
amazing.
just some of the fight scenes seem a bit cumbersome.
What's it?
It's sort of like just
Over
it seem
the
as well choreographed and sort of as it's sort of like heavy on the movement. There's sort of,
Oh, is this not like ultra fast sort of?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Most of it was good.
But sort of like compared to the others, it was.
Yeah.
But it was good. It moved the story along, but at the same.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I'll watch it a fourth time now and try and take that.
Slow it down.
It was kind of like a never-ending guitar solo, and I'm not really into guitar solos, so.
That's fair enough.
To be honest, John Wick 4 is good, but one thing I will agree with Guy on is the point is when your film franchise gets to number 4, you start running that issue where you go see it and it's like, oh, how is he still alive? Kind of.
Well, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
All films, no matter how realistically it's done, no one.
Trying to say there's a problem with Rocky 4.
No one's going to take on a whole army and not get shot in the face.
Rocky 4 was all right.
Yeah.
That was one of the best training sequences.
I also think.
Is it 3 that's crap?
That's the one with Mr. T. That's fucking excellent. That's my favourite one.
All right.
I think the power. I think the power of John Wick 1 though is the building the mythos of the character.
Yeah.
Like the idea is, that kid's like, oh, well, who have I killed? Whose dog did I kill? Oh, he's only a dog. It's like, no, you killed a guy who.
It's a fact that even the worst bad guys on it are scared of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's cheesy, but it's cool.
It is cheesy, but it sells what it is. That's what the film is, and it does it really well. And I think through the characters and that, it's very well sold. And I think the problem is that film is so good, any film after that is never going to be as good as 1.
Oh, that's fair. That's a fair point to make as well.
Because a lot of the films after 1, because you've already got the mythos and you've got the character already made, they then have to all they can really do is just keep upping the action. Because nothing is going to really build on that mythos you already build with that first film.
I did like how 4 sort of like introduced a way that the universe could go as such, and the narrative could go. But you also like how no film series has ever ended on 4. There's going to be there is another one in the making, isn't there?
Ballerina's kind of like a spin-off.
Yeah.
But there actually is going to be a John Wick 5 as well, isn't there?
Has it been confirmed or rumours?
I've seen stuff on the internet.
That's exciting.
It's a web.
I'll have to see.
It might. I think John Wick 5 will depend on how successful Ballerina is. Because I think if Ballerina is really successful, they might just say, let Keanu Reeves have a rest. Let someone else take over the role.
No, they could do that as well.
Yeah. I haven't watched that John Wick-based TV series, though.
No, apparently that's good with Mel Gibson, is it?
No, Mel Gibson. Not far as I know. Where did you get Mel Gibson's in?
I don't know. I thought he was in the show recently.
I know it's got the lady that played Jackie McQueen in Hollyoaks in it. And I was like, yes!
Wow. What a shout out.
I know.
I watched the first episode of it and I just...
World of John Wick.
You can tell they haven't got the budget for John Wick films.
Yeah. What's your favourite action sequence in a film?
That's extremely hard. Everyone else will have to go first because I've got loads.
I know what mine is straight off the bat.
Oh.
The Raid 1.
Yeah, that's one of the best martial arts films ever made.
Yeah, it's great. That bit with the fluorescent light where it gets him in the neck. It's like, oh, mate, you feel every hit in that film.
It's how they kill the last bad guy as well.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Oh, there he is.
That
The
is a
fluorescent
bit.
light bit, isn't it?
Straight in the neck, and he's still going.
And then he pulls it across.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to say this because I don't think it's controversial, but I think Oldboy, the corridor scene.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, you can't.
And I think
deny
what's
that.
really nice about that is you see that old. Well, it's hard. Can you still get it on Disney Plus? The old Daredevil series really was inspired by Oldboy.
Oh,
the
right.
fight scenes in that. And
Yeah.
it made that series, to be honest.
No, I am. Yeah, definitely. That's up there for sure.
Yeah, I think I remember the scene you're on about. It's when he did before he had the outfit when he had the blindfold on. He had that thing around his eyes, tied up, and he was wearing black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
It's very vague in my memory, but I always remember that being such a good scene because the combat was just so brutal. But also, when he wins at the end, he's like battered and wounded, but at the same time, such an adrenaline kick, such a good scene.
Would Smokey and the Bandit 2 count?
A standoff still.
I can't say I've seen it.
It's like, how many lorries do you see on the horizon? 1. How many do you see now? 2. How many do you see now? And it's just like this wall of lorries up against the police force. It's just carnage.
Smokey and the Bandit.
No, I've not seen that either. I'll have to watch it.
Obviously, if you want
That's
comedy,
child abuse, that really is. I'm so disappointed in Glenn and your mum now. Child abuse.
In fact, they didn't have
Seen Smokey and the Bandit. When did it come out?
80s.
Well, yeah,
So,
that's there we go.
it's bad parenting. It really is.
Well, other films, I started watching The Florida Project, but I didn't see. I kind of went and phased out halfway through. I will give it another go. It's got Defoe in it. I think he either received quite a big reward for that, or he was certainly nominated. It's like kind of when he's like in charge of a hotel, and the occupants are kind of like at each other's throats, and he's kind of dealing with everything. You know, if the rent, the lighting, everything. There's a bit where there's a woman who's kind of undresses by the pool, but there's kids, so he has to get her to cover up. It's got funny undertones to it. All the kids misbehave, and it's quite good. I also watched El Chimera, I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. It's a French film, which is really good, about an archaeologist with like these superpowers where he can sense where archaeological sites are, but he uncovers graves, so it's kind of just, it's like grave robbing, and he ends up being this gang in France ends up taking him under their wing, and they end up like kind of using him for his superpower, and then towards the end there's like a realization of what he's doing, and he kind of tries to he gets a bit of a moral compass, and then he ends up at the end going back again to becoming a bit of a criminal. It's quite good.
that sounds like an interesting concept.
Yeah, it was good. He did that thing with the metal sticks where you hold them, and he can like kind of follows the sense through and every time he's able to find something under his feet, kind of thing. It's quite cool. And even the police in it are obviously corrupt as well, because they go after them all the time, but they're not going after them. They run them off and then take everything out of it and end up obviously somehow selling it to someone else. That's quite good. That was decent. Anything else anyone else has watched?
In terms of new, only what's coming up next is the only ones I can really talk about.
I don't need to be new.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Reacher, the new series.
Oh, is that good?
Really good. Really good.
To watch it.
Yeah, I would recommend Reacher because I think what they've done right with the series compared to the Tom Cruise film is the actor playing the role is just, he's built correctly for the role, for one. But I think also it goes to very dark lengths that I don't think the film did. Like the Reacher series, if you watch it, don't have let's just say that, if you don't like violence or gore, don't watch it. But if you do, then definitely watch it. It's not like it's over violent, but I think it's just, it paces itself so well, and the new series starts off with such a bang. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it's so new, but definitely worth going back to.
Okay, that's good. I have full intentions to.
Have you watched the original 2 series?
Yeah, loved them.
If you don't like violence or gore, by the way, don't watch the Substance either. Just to add to that. Yeah.
But if you want to brave it, just go for it.
I watched. I take it you've been watching Invincible.
Yes.
Oh,
of course I've been watching Invincible.
Freaking love that show.
It's
great.
I think what Invincible has over a lot of other like superhero shows is the fact is it really does like to really hurt its own characters.
Oh yeah,
if you know what I mean.
I don't recall for a show that's called Invincible about a character who is supposed to be invincible. He doesn't half get kicked around in every single fight.
But that's the whole.
Like every time he gets battered.
I think that's something they've learned from a lot of like Japanese shows is where
the hero wins kind of thing.
Not the hero still wins, but they don't come out unscathed, and I think that is a very trick from obviously a lot of Eastern animations where a lot of the characters do get injured.
Yeah.
So Invincible carries that on, but it does it so well. And I think on top of that, your characters always are affected by what's happening in their lives.
Yeah.
Like
But it dives into it bridges the, like you say, that kind of anime Eastern style of animation, and it also links it to the Western audience, basically.
Yes, it is. It's a
It's
good
got
gateway.
It's got music that's quite. I mean, I noticed there's a Chemical Brothers song in one of them. They've put an Amel and a Sniffers song in the last episode, so it's got quite a lot of. It's up to date with music.
Yeah.
It's got Seth Rogen in it.
Yeah.
Simmons is in it, the one who plays Omni-Man.
Yeah, Omni-Man is
great.
such a good character.
Yeah, so they're all quite, prestigious people within it as well. So it's all very.
And
well
also,
linked.
Omni-Man
It's
as a
great.
character is so good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Because
what a character.
he puts you through so many emotions with him.
You sympathise for him, and he has done the most awful of things.
I also like the guy.
It's,
what's the guy called in charge of the Secret Service? The guy who teleports around.
yeah, he's a good actor as well. What is his name? Yeah, I know who you're talking
Well,
about.
before
He's got the
that,
scar on his mouth, and he. Well, the guy who's also in Fallout and in a lot of Tarantino films. Yeah, he's the one of the Hateful Eight.
It's him.
Yeah, the cowboy. He's also in Django Unchained.
Yeah, I like him.
yeah.
He's such,
He is good.
I think it's Simmons. His name is. Is it?
No,
Simmons?
that's the one who's in Spider-Man, isn't it?
Yeah. What's his last name?
And Whiplash.
Yeah, no, I can't remember that character's name, but he does
Callum,
stand out.
probably.
He does stand out.
Yeah, he's a great character because again, it has that moral. It's the archetype of a character. Is a what do you call them? It's a rogue good guy.
Yeah,
that's not the word for it, but it's
Anti-hero.
Anti-hero.
Yeah.
Everyone loves an anti-hero because it's the good guy, but he's kind of
Just
got
bad
bad values or whatever, or something about them that's a bit.
He's a totalitarian. So basically, he believes that the end.
Walton Goggins.
Yeah, that's it.
He's good.
He basically a totalitarian is basically the ends justify the means. So basically, his ideology is he needs to get the outcome he needs.
He'll do it at any cost.
Yeah, at any cost.
Yeah, and you see why in the last
Yeah.
episode, don't
Yeah.
you? Well, the one before last. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
He's such. I think Incredible is going long ways, and I think it's doing something that the boys is failing to do.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, Incredible is sticking to its story and its world, and it's doing it very well.
Yeah.
And I think sadly the boys did well to begin with, mixing a bit of the real world in with the fictional.
It's going off track a bit.
But I think it might be getting a little bit too much of the real world in the fictional.
But they're coming up with the last season anyway, and so that means it's only going to be 4 or 5 seasons total?
Yeah,
5? So
5
they will
seasons.
cut it off at a
Yeah.
reasonable
And the
time.
spin-off is getting one more season.
Yeah.
I think
The
all the
spin-off
way up to
wasn't too bad, though.
I think all the way up to Soldier Boy.
So much great.
That was a great character. I quite liked it up to that point. But that's at the end of 3.
Soldier Boy's a great. Yeah, Soldier
End of
Boy's
3.
free.
Yeah, that was great.
Soldier Boy's a good character.
And then I recall when 4 came out, it was last season of Invincible, and I was like, it's better.
Yeah.
Just Invincible is like an animation, and it's better.
Yeah. I would definitely. One thing I will say about animation is: have you watched any of the animated DC movies?
Batman, I'm not sure if it's called The Dark Knight, there's a 2-parter. They're animated.
Might be, because I watched. Was it Justice League Dark, Acropolis War?
I've seen the one where they go.
That's really
what's
good.
the one where they're underwater for Aquaman? It's all based around
Atlantis.
Aquaman. I've seen that. I watched that not so long ago. That was all right.
You will find the hilarious thing about DC, even though they don't treat their animated studios very well, their animated films are darker and better written
It should be.
than a live action.
Dark comics, right?
Well, yeah, but you would think that a live action would be designed more for an adult audience than the animated. But the animated actually works better for our adult
Yeah,
audience.
well, that's the thing about modern animation. It can reach to places that you can't necessarily with real life
I think
either.
also, though, I think the difference with animation is you've got to have a good script and you've got to be very well planned out well before the drawing system starts. I think with a live action film, I think what a lot of films are doing is, I might be wrong, but I think they are getting to that point where they have a rough idea of the script, start filming, and start editing while filming, which sometimes can work, but I think you need a clear goal. And I think with animation, they're getting made with a clear goal, as with live action, they're going in half baked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of that lies with the people involved as well, and how much input they've got. You know, like there's a famous director that I had to do some. I can't even bloody remember his name, but I watched a little BBC podcast about him. You might know who he is. He did a film called Turner, and it's got him with the paintbrush. It goes like that. Look at it. He's got the guy. Got the rat from Harry Potter as the main character.
Oh yeah,
yeah. What's his name? Goodness sake,
no,
I'm so terrible.
I'm terrible with names. Don't ask me about names.
I think I've got a feeling it's Peter something. His name.
Mr. Turner. Timothy Spall.
Oh no, it's Timothy Spall. Yeah. Oh, who's the director?
Yeah.
Oh, painter one, that isn't it?
Yeah, that's about the painter. Yeah.
Mike Lee.
Yeah. So he doesn't have a script. He gets his funding and he gets the concept all first. So when they're really unique, all of his films.
That Naked's fucking weird.
Naked's he's David Twellis.
Yeah, from Harry Potter.
Yeah, again Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Great English sort of based stuff.
What I like you said that is his style.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like, can you imagine? Like, I'm going to go to a company and like, can you give me 10 million for a budget? What you got for me? Nothing. Just got an idea.
No,
I'm just going to get a load of people in there, and I'm going to take notes, and then I'm going to make them do that dialogue.
I reckon he comes with a rough idea, probably saying this is the actor I've already talked to or something. Because to be honest, a lot of producers will give money to a project if they know who the actors are. You don't really. It's not really the script that sells it; it's who they can get on board.
There is that. Yeah. Now I assume it's his name, right? So that anyone's going to want to associate with him just because of his track record.
He can get away with it.
Exactly. Yeah, but it does create more of a theatrical, like a theatre kind of feel to it. It seems more raw and real. Apparently he just kind of sits there with notes. He says, right, I want you to like kind of do a bit of homework on what your character's going to be. This is kind of what it is, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They go away and they kind of just they just do things as how those characters would be. And then he writes, and then he kind of, that worked, and he kind of creates it from that.
I reckon he hires a lot of theatre actors because they can work really well under that system.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you gave it to like a film actor, they would struggle.
Well, it's miles apart in terms of the processes. So, yeah, definitely.
I think the only problem with when that information becomes public, I do feel that there is a lot of big productions like we don't really need writers now, and then you get that issue.
There is that, yeah.
Where they're like, we don't really need writers.
There's other reasons why that would be
now
AI and such.
Well, you say, AI has come up, but I don't think AI will ever capture what a screenwriter or a director can ever make.
You hope not.
I don't think it can, because it has different emotions to us.
Now.
I just don't. I think it'll take a long time to hit that.
Yeah, maybe so. Be looking at removing a lot of stuntmen out of their job, which I understand is like. This is one of those things, isn't it? When there's regulation around anything, it's almost like, well, we're doing it for your health and safety, and then all of a sudden everything is because of health and safety, and then you've restricted a lot of the reality and what was in film, and then all of a sudden you lose that charm, I suppose, of what those sort of people bring to the game. There's a lot of stuntmen. Nothing a stuntman does is ever going to be like
safe.
No, like that's what they're there for, right?
Yeah.
But that's fucking still cool.
It depends on your.
I mean, I don't want to have someone break their neck or anything like that, but it has an authenticity to it that I think we should never remove.
When definitely, have you seen that Expendables film where they fight on the boat? All that whole film, I'm sworn most of that film is like on a green screen. Even scenes that shouldn't be on a green screen are on a green screen.
Yeah.
I was watching, I'm like, oh my goodness, man, I've only watched this because Amazon kept blasting it out and advertising. So I was like, maybe if I watch it, Amazon will stop advertising. It didn't stop it. Still did it. I was like, I watched it and I was like, I'm sorry, there are a lot of famous action stars in that film, but still, it is just such a bad film because you could see the green screen so regularly.
Yeah.
I love Expendables, but that one is shit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any excuse now as well with things like that, especially when it's a big budgeted film like that. Like your expectation, then when the CGI's bad, then when you've seen better, especially when in a previous one, like what are they playing at?
Well, a lot of the problem with CGI now is it's the fact that a lot of studios are rushing their projects through, so that's why you're seeing these problems with CGI.
Yeah, they're often pressed by
and the staff are given not enough time to do it properly.
Whatnot,
so it's understandable why CGI is actually going downhill and going uphill. But at the same time, I think when you look at Hellboy, that handles CGI really well.
Well, the latest one.
No, not the latest one.
The older ones.
The older ones.
Well, yeah, but there is also there's an element of practical effects as well because it's
Guillermo del Toro. What he did was a lot of it was practical effects, and only the little touch-ups.
Yeah, that's how it should be done.
Which was CGI, because what he said was, it's a lot easier for that guy doing the CGI to have something to work from.
Yeah.
Because the point is, when you're doing it from scratch, it's really difficult.
It's a good basis of an argument. I hope that will always stick.
Well,
yeah.
The interesting thing about it is, it's the same thing with Doctor Who. Like the old Doctor Who's, when they came back in, is it 90s when Russell T Davies brought it back?
Early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s, sorry.
Yeah.
Even though those effects are very good.
Eccleston was the first one, wasn't it?
He's actually a lot better Doctor Who than people gave him credit for.
I think it was
It was my favourite one.
I thought it was good, yeah.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is if you watch those shows, the writing, like the effects is bad, but the writing is so strong when it came back from death. But as soon as they started getting the money, like when they started getting linked to America and that,
they rushed that and
it's not they rushed that.
Mess about
the
with everything else.
Because they had the special effects, the writers had to put less work in, less work to sell a story. So I think what you started seeing was this sudden change around where it's like you've got really nice effects.
The balance shifts.
Yeah. And I think we see that in a lot of different things in media where, when you've got better visuals, you then lose out on the narrative.
Absolutely, yeah. Valid point. I mean, like if you just to compare to that very thing, if you look back on all the old greats of like in the fantasy realm, I mean, I'm talking pre-2000, when CGI and effects were. Yeah, they weren't worth anything, really.
Yeah.
They weren't great. But science fiction, everything, the writing is what stands out. And it still is watchable and it doesn't matter. You forgive it.
My friend got me into rewatching, well, it's not really rewatching, but I've started watching Farscape.
I've started watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that show.
It's so good. I like
but a lot of that's practical
guy.
effects.
Yeah.
That's, so I think... If I'm not mistaken, the guy who did a lot of the modelling for the people in it was involved with a lot of Del Toro stuff. Yeah, I think he helped with Labyrinth. He helped with like Labyrinth and things like that. I'm sure I might be wrong, so I don't want to just be off. But yeah,
I think that is old sci-fi had that budget. They had to think, well, we don't have the budget to do anything amazing, but to tell a good story, we can keep the audience there.
Yeah. Yeah, Farscape is great. I really enjoyed that.
It's fun to watch.
You've seen it?
I've seen episodes of it, not all of it.
No, yeah, it is good. I've done a few films as well. Peacekeeper Wars, I think.
I haven't watched that yet.
I've got it saved on my Amazon. I'm going to watch it at the end.
I'm up to I think I'm just getting near the third season.
Oh, you're way past me. I'm still on the first.
I think I've seen one of the spin-off films and trying to think what it was called. No.
There's definitely a Peacekeeper War one.
Yeah, I know there's that one.
Yeah.
Serenity.
That's Firefly.
Oh, right, okay. I don't think I've seen Farscape, though.
Farscape's very trippy.
Yeah.
It's kind of, there's a lot of like
You
alien
question
narcotics
how it
involved.
actually managed to be on the BBC.
Absolutely. It really does push some boundaries for science fiction. It's really quite, it's like the rock and roll of sci-fi. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Star Trek I love for its its lessons and morality and its
like Star Trek is very moral.
It tells you how you should be. Really, it's a lot of life lessons in Star Trek. I think.
Yeah.
Star Wars is like
it's medieval
the Hollywood
in space.
fun kind of go watch it. It's cool. Like
no, I disagree with that. I think Star Wars is very medieval but in space.
Oh.
And I think and then you've got Farscape, which is very
Edgy.
let's push the boundary.
It's edgy, yeah,
Yeah.
edgy as hell. As I think, probably the most realistic as to what it would be like.
Yeah, sort of.
I mean, take away
Yeah.
obviously all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mystique and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
crap, but that you can take that out of everything. But yeah,
I would say that I would argue with you on that and say that to give Joss Whedon's credit, I think Firefly actually felt more grounded.
I've never seen it. It's all humans, though, isn't it?
Yeah, mainly humans.
There's only
yeah.
2 seasons of that as well, isn't there?
No, there's one season of the film.
Yeah, I know. I know it kind of stopped quite, abruptly.
Well, the
quite
reason
quick.
that didn't do well was when it was aired, the episodes were aired in order. So when you tried to watch it on normal TV at the time, because it came out on TV, they showed the last episode first and stupid stuff like that.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's a thing that American channels always do, and it's like why do you show a series out of sequence? Just show it in sequence.
But is someone made a mistake though? That is
No, they did it on purpose. Yes, American logic doesn't make sense. But I always say if you've got a series, show it in order, because there was another one where Cal Urban was in it, I think, who's from The Boys. I think it's called Being Human. Great sci-fi show, but was shown in the wrong order. And that was in the 2000s, and they showed it in the wrong order.
Is that where,
And then they complained it failed. It's like, well, of course it did.
is that
It
where
showed it in the
people
wrong
have
order.
like animal faces and stuff?
No, it was basically about a human cop working with like an android cop, and the idea is the human cop hates androids.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was. I liked it. I thought it was good. You know, I watched the first season, but it never got a second season. because
Carl Urban's great, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what he does, does it?
He's such a good actor.
He's always good.
He's underrated, though. I feel he is still
And yet
underrated.
he's been in so much.
Yeah.
Dread, Lord of the Rings.
Doom.
He's always kind of like that Doom.
Doom, great.
That one with the rock in it.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's
They're one-on-one fight at the end, so good.
Well, then, as long as you don't start telling me that Black Adam was actually a good film.
Mediocre.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you said it.
I put it on and forgot. And
right.
I put it on and forgot it was on.
It's a shame because that film could have been good, but
Yeah.
I think again it's that issue where they were afraid to make Black Adam as a character evil, and they wanted to be like, oh, he's the hero, and it's like he's not. He's not a hero. Like he sort of is in the comic books. He's an anti-hero in the comic books, but I feel for his first film he should have been a lot more villainous, and he should have actually killed some of the heroes, because I think that's what made it not do well.
18%.
I swear.
Don't listen.
I swear. Do I not? I saw a little thing about him potentially being in a Scorsese film.
Yeah, I saw that.
Imagine that. So, isn't he a Hawaiian mob boss or something? Something like that. That's crazy.
He's good at serious roles as well. When he did Snatch, that's a good one with John Bernthal.
Snatch. Guy Ritchie Snatch.
No,
Obviously not.
Snitch.
I was about to say.
Snitch.
Yeah. That could be, copyright.
Dwayne Johnson can be a good actor, but I think you have to.
Change his wardrobe.
No, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Get him
I
a
think-
different shirt.
Yeah. Not in that though. He is different.
Yeah.
Cover his muscles.
And John, even though I love the actor, I always mess his name up. John, the boy who played Punisher, he was in Walking Dead as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, he's in it and he's really good as well.
Yeah. Jumanji just speaks volumes there. That's great.
It's alright.
I think Dwayne Johnson is running that dangerous territory of becoming a bit like a Will Smith.
Well, what?
Well, Will
Going on
Smith.
stage hitting people?
No. No, I think he's too. To be honest, it does come across that I don't think he would do that. But
No, he wouldn't.
I think
Just
his
destroy his
problem
character
is
too much.
he's
wouldn't
getting to the point where he's getting that famous that I feel like he'll start doing Will Smith and saying this has to be in the script and that has to be in the script and starts influencing.
He's already
the
got
script.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
He's
I'm
already
sure
got
he will.
something in his contracts.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
And I
yeah. I
think-
mean, he
You can't get beat or something.
he calls the shot. He's at the level where he can call the shots. I mean, I think for
But
a
I
number of
think
years
that's
running,
bad
he's
for an actor.
well, yeah.
I think some shots, if it's to do with health and safety, fair enough.
He's a Hollywood star, not necessarily.
Yeah, but he should be. If you can't act in a film and die in it, like someone who's legendary for that is Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Like he's a good actor.
I swear in his contract he says I got to be killed in this film.
I don't think it is. I think it's everyone.
But it's a
kills
rom
them all.
com. Fine, I'll die of old age.
That would be funny to be honest. Just have this real innocent rom-com film.
Yeah, like-
and Sean Bean just randomly gets killed.
Or you just watch the whole thing, and then the last 5 minutes they just do a thing later in life. Like, we'll just kill it. End credit scene.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we've got to kill him. So there it is.
But
50 years later.
because one film that I still love, and it's only for the beginning of the film, is Equilibrium.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's got
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Bale and him in it. Yeah, that's
Christian
really
Bale's early career. But that scene with Sean Bean sells that film. And the hilarious thing is after that, it's still a good film.
Yeah.
But the film never peaks after that point.
No. Yeah. I remember. I've definitely seen it. I just don't really remember it. In fact, the fact that you just told me he's in it, I can't remember that.
He's
That's
only
good.
in like the first about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But he's such an iconic role in that film
Yeah.
that it always sticks with me. That.
Right.
Do you want to get onto that?
Yeah, we'll
film?
get on to the.
We seem to be detouring.
No, we'll get on to the next bit, the Oscars and such. Did anyone watch the BAFTAs?
No.
Am I the only one who watched the BAFTAs?
I think you might have been the only one. I forgot that I was even on.
Right. Excellent.
I might have been watching Solo Leveling instead.
Good.
Yeah, I'd have been trying to decipher academic texts.
It was good. Like as awards shows go, I thought it was actually rather good, and I didn't have too much to disagree with. I mean, best actor, I haven't seen it. I don't know whether anyone else has. That was Brody for the Brutalist. I can't really comment on that too much because I've not seen it.
My film radar feels bad because I haven't even heard that film title.
The Brutalist?
Yeah.
I think it's only come out. I think it probably was released in February, perhaps January, but it's quite a late one to the BAFTA party. If you get what I'm saying, but it's as I believe it's about the kind of Jewish community immigration to kind of like America, and Brutalist is a form of architecture, and one of them that's what I think it is. He becomes like an architect, and that's kind of what it is around. But it's obviously kind of after the war and how that is in his life and blah blah, that kind of thing. But it looks quite good. I want to watch it. So yeah.
I quite like Brutalist architecture, so it is on the list to watch. And there's part of the reason as to why concrete became so popular to build with after the war was the using the rubble to crunch it all up, and that made the powder that would become the concrete as such. And also from that there was gases being emitted that they were able to capture and use for heating.
Oh wow, okay.
That's just as a readily available thing for building with, and that's how we
have it.
Yeah.
All right. I hear it's really difficult to dispose of as well now. Like I can't remember where it was. I went on holiday somewhere, and there was a build. It might have been in the UK. It might have been Newcastle, but I can't remember. But we had a tour, and we were talking about buildings, and there was a rather ugly cement building kind of in the middle of this lovely area, and they're like, yeah, that was built in the 80s, 90s. We can't get rid of that because if it fell down, everyone would be having problems because of the dust just goes in the air. It's
Probably got asbestos now.
possibly, I don't know, but that's what he said at the time. So yeah. Other winners, quite a heavy hitter was The Conclave. I don't know if anyone's seen that. I actually saw that by accident.
Was it good?
Yeah, brilliant. I really liked it. Cinematography was fantastic. Acting's good. And, it's kind of got that, you're watching a thing about Catholic priests. There's going to be some dodginess.
I think one of the benefits...
It's good.
I think one of the benefits of when 3D came into cinemas was it's fixed filming. Like, camera work seems to be back on the up again.
Oh yeah, that's got a lot of like
Yeah.
still shots. You know, that's obviously like a lot of tripody kind of, or
So,
built on cameras.
News to Hollywood, you're actually doing something right now. You're actually doing camera work correctly again. Thank you.
That's a lot. Yeah, there's a fret of there's a underlying fret. It's kind of weird because it's almost like you. It's I forget what the thing's called, but obviously the previous pope dies, and then they have to do this.
It's a cardinal.
Yeah, the cardinals then go into a voting system, but they have to lock themselves away until there's an overall winner.
Yeah, and there's a massive battle between them.
As this is going on, there is an outside kind of terrorist threat that's going on. So, like, there's bombs going off in the city. So, so as to your point of shaky cam, well, there's no shaky cam even when they're going off. So it's still quite.
I think the trick with camera work is it's good if you don't notice it, which sounds really dumb to say it, but it's. If you're watching a film and you're not thinking that you're looking through a camera, it's a success.
I think that's a very valid point. That should be the case in just about any part of filmmaking. Really, you should be.
But Hollywood forgot about that for quite a while.
Yeah, so then, well, it's when the art kind of takes over, or you kind of can call it. I suppose if you want to have one rule, it should be that. It should be when you go in there, you shouldn't notice it.
Yeah. Because you can't like.
Why did you do that? Why is there a fisheye? Really?
Well, sometimes it is nice
it works
to do some interesting camera
if
shots.
someone's off their head, you kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can kind of see through the eyes of
like,
that. But if it's consistently there, and you kind of like, well, it's just what is that? What is it? What am I looking at?
One good example of artistic camera work in a film where you don't expect it is James Gunn's Suicide Squad, where it shows you the characters reflecting the helmet. Yeah. Brilliant piece of camera work, works in the film, and it's a good film.
And there's a fellowship award, which is like they got Warwick Davis. Did anyone see that clip of them?
Where he's talking about his wife?
Yeah, it's probably sad.
Yeah, I've seen that clip.
Yeah, it was really sad. And his kids are there as well.
Yeah.
I think Annabelle and Harrison. Yeah.
Ones we met.
Yeah. We've met them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. I've met him twice, if that was possible. No, so he used to have, his wife, who passed away, she had a relation that was part of one of the pubs that I used to live near.
Oh, right.
And every so often he'd do like a quiz.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, he did a Halloween one, and his kids came, and obviously they were really young at the time. I was young at the time. I don't know how old I was, 18?
Yeah.
12 years ago. He was a really nice guy. Yeah.
Well, you tend to find a lot of the good actors are like that.
Yeah. Sound. Yeah, he signed our books and stuff, and DVDs and stuff. He made a comment about me being tall. He said, because obviously at the time, I'd have been younger than that. Because he said, if you keep growing, you want to join my agency. Because he has an agency that represents small and tall.
Yeah.
But there's like a classification of how tall, you know? So it's like, if you get to 6'9", and I'm like, yeah, you're there. I'm like, bloody hell, wicked. Yeah. And he said, you remind, because I used to wear metal sort of clothing. So he said, you remind me of my best mate. And he's in the book. He talks about his friend at school. He was really tall. He was a big long hair and metal. And then obviously Warwick was, short.
But he certainly does deserve that award.
Yeah, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was in Star Wars at the age of 9.
Yeah.
And he's kind of mid-50s now, so he's obviously been going for a very long time. So it's quite a big thing.
What was a film? Was there a Film of the Year category then?
Film of the Year, so we got Adapted Screenplay, which was the Conclave. Best Film was Conclave. Yeah, Conclave seemed to mop up with that.
So Conclave sounds like the big winner.
Yeah, cinematography was The Brutalist. Costume design was Wicked, which I can kind of see.
I can see that, and to be honest, Wicked, they're probably just glad to win something because it's not being mean, but it is one of those films that you do feel is more for profit than for art.
Well, it's done well. It's done bloody well, isn't it? It's really popular. I've seen it. It's bloody long though. It's like 3 hours. It's a kids' film. How does a kid sit and watch a film for 3 hours? Yeah, it's a kids' film. I was of the opinion, because we talked about it last month, that for me, I just It's a performance. It looks like something I'd want to watch on stage.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's been.
It's a theatre play.
It should have
been put on
the way it's been
cinema.
adapted. Just yeah.
But I think it's one of the situations where they've done it because they couldn't think of anything else. And a lot of things Hollywood do is they will take from the theatre if they run out of ideas.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be a part 2 though. It makes that very clear at the end. She's great.
It's going to
yeah.
be a part 2.
Yeah, she goes on a broomstick and does like a little to be continued on it at the end.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's excellent.
No, it's never. That is one thing that I think has to be an issue now. It's like everything has to have like a trilogy or something. And yes, it worked with Lord of the Rings, but the difference with Lord of the Rings was.
Yeah, but like back to what you were saying. Same with the camera movement. You shouldn't notice it happening. You shouldn't tell someone there's going to be a bloody sequel.
Yeah.
That's just you've just basically tried to sell me an advert.
Yeah.
At the end of the film. How annoying is it? That
Like
they
if
do
the
that,
story,
you know?
like,
It's become expected.
Yeah.
Because like with Lord of the Rings, it never said to be continued at the end. It just ended.
It just ends, and you see the darkness on the
Yeah.
horizon. I think
Yeah.
it's not the end of 1. Yeah, you see them peer over the mountains, and it does that like shot of Mordor and the Nazgul were in the distance flying. Yeah, great.
I know people that sort of like go, want a sequel for Baby Driver. It's like, how can you have a sequel? Just leave it. That's its own story. What you should be doing is actually looking at the people that made Baby Driver and looking at the films watching the films that they made.
It's Edgar Wright, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
It's sort of
spaced.
like,
Yeah. Makeup and hair was substance. I get why that would be, right? Yeah.
That sounds very.
Yeah, that's fair. Original screenplay, A Real Pain. I've not seen. Oh no, I know what that is. A Real Pain is the one with exactly, yeah, and Culkin. That looks really. I do want to watch that actually. They go on like a little holiday, don't they? Yeah, that looks funny. And The Real Pain is supposed to be Culkin. It's a nightmare. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, when I watched it, he actually because Culkin got an award. He got the award because he directed it.
Yeah.
And he had to pick up the award for him, and he was all quite fidgety and awkward. But he's kind of like himself.
Anyway,
But he's cool. I like him.
Watch that.
Sound Dune Part 2. I'm surprised they didn't really. And special visual effects was also Dune.
Yeah, cool.
Fair play.
I've got that, not watched it yet.
Good.
You've watched the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I preferred the first. Ryan, I think.
I love them both.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
Dune is one of those films like when I watched the first one, I was like, this is a good film. Like, it does a lot well. It is a bit slow, but it's good.
Mm.
It didn't hold my attention. I like the 80s one.
Well, with Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad though. Absolutely crazy. Such is his film.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people that watched that one and went, that one won't be beaten because you've always liked it since then.
You'll like this one. Outstanding debut by a British writer, director, or producer, Kneecap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when he came on stage to get that, so that's good. Yeah. He said, I'm sure he said, basically I just moved to a part of Ireland, and I've only been there, and it's mad because I've only been there for something like, I don't know, a few years. And 1 minute you just go there, and then you live there, and then I'm talking to Kneecap, then I'm making a film about it. It's quite good. Yeah, so moving on, I guess we'll go to Robin's little bit. He will reveal his last month's little jingle in the next part and give us a new one. So I'll hand you over now to Robin.
Flying high on the express, turning men into a big mess. Flying high on the express.
Hello, Robin Smith here. Last time on the show, I asked you to guess what song, the song that I recorded, came from either a TV show or movie? And the answer was Twin Peaks. Congratulations. Unfortunately, the director David Lynch passed away quite recently. However, this week I will be playing you a bass line. Now you have to try and guess what bass line this bass line is from. So here goes nothing. Here's a bass line. What TV show or movie does it come from? Here we go. Enjoy. Have a good one.
And hello again. Thanks for that, Robin. Speaking of Twin Peaks, which was obviously the reveal, I had for my monthly sorting hat task was to find films all relating to everything Lynch. Yeah, so I watched a film called... it was a short film called The Frenchman and the Cowboy, which was made in 1988. I pulled a couple of things from the web. Ultimately, the film was a 5-film piece done by 5 separate actors, and it was done commissioned by a French newspaper, Le Figaro, as part of their 10th anniversary. And obviously Lynch did one of them. Really interesting. It was called, I think the theme of it was called The French as Seen By, and then it would say the director's name. So, The French as Seen by David Lynch, and then so on and so on for each director. I haven't seen the others, but this one was pretty wacky. It was ultimately, it played on the stereotypes of how everyone kind of depicts the American cowboy. And it also had like how a European who is French, and that becomes clear halfway through. But they're like, who's this stranger sort of thing. He's kind of like a little bit of a tourist that kind of just randomly appears on their ranch. And at first they're like, it plays a lot on first impressions. So at first they try to capture him.
Stereotypes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he gets captured by them and tied up, and then they go through all of his stuff. And they have this weird, as you know, Lynch is, real weird surrealistic thing where his bag is like a bottomless pit, and they can just pull an endless amount of objects out of it, and in it is like snails on a plate, perfectly cooked, and you know, just random French things. And then it becomes apparent that he is French, and they kind of go, "Oh, we help you." We help you in the war, and they end up all becoming pally. He only speaks French, but and then all of a sudden, in the background, as he's being tied up, there's a Native American that randomly appears on the ranch, and he's at first impressions of the Frenchman is there's a you know, a savage behind you, you know, kind of thing. But it turns out he's actually helping them, and the cowboys know him, and he's just helping make sure that no one comes up to the land and messes about. So it's all kind of like first impressions of people's, and then ultimately by the end of it, they all kind of dwell around a campfire and have a little party, and it's kind of like everyone kind of talks about their differences, and it's all kind of...
So it's very much...
There's obviously a message under
there. Yeah, it's promoting multiculturalism.
Yeah, and it's it's really wacky.
Yeah,
it's proper random. Like so, some I think got some of the.
I was watching it. Is there any film came to mind where you're like, oh, I think this was influenced by this?
No.
Absolutely sometimes not. You watch something, don't you? You're like, oh, I think that's an influence.
It's a short. Yeah. I mean, it's a short. It's not. I can't remember the airtime. I think it's got to have been probably around the 12-minute mark or something like that. But it's him done with that message, and that's it. You can definitely tell it's Lynch when you watch it, because it's mad, but it's funny mad. You know, it's got a wackiness to it, but yet you don't then it doesn't understate the message.
Yeah, you
know, so it carries it well. And even the way it's made, like at one point I swear I saw a boom pole, and I don't know whether he's just like, yeah, keep it in, you know, and there's traffic in the background. I mean, I know it's the turn of the century, so there would have been probably, you know, the odd Rolls Royce or whatever they were, Fords, going about. But, yeah, there was a lot of traffic. There certainly wasn't any A roads behind them in the when it's set. You know what I mean? So, but it's like, keep it in. It's wacky.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that weird kind of style to it.
So when you said it has a message and it delivers it really well, is it the fact that it shows the message within the film, but he never states it openly? He never has a character saying, "And this is why multiculturalism is good." No,
there isn't. But there's a symbolic bit at the end, I think, where there's a bit where he shows the Frenchmen ultimately, when they're all kind of around the campfire, it ends with him holding a Statue of Liberty that he got out of his bag. And obviously, there's a lot of symbolism there because that's obviously we believe it's made in France, right? And it was shipped to America. And what does the Statue of Liberty? It come.
Well,
we will look after you, kind of thing.
The original one was small, and the Americans complained, so they had another one made.
Yeah, but it's ultimately like, come, to the land of free, we will help you, and you know, all that kind of message is there, and it's symbolic in the sense that it ends with the credits rolling and he's holding it in the air.
The reason I asked that is because it sounds like very much it delivers its message through actions within the film, but it doesn't actually say it.
No.
Which I personally believe is a better strategy than what we see a lot in modern TV and cinema.
Yeah, it's not as much in your face. Well, it's there, but it's kind of like you kind of work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that kind of sinks in better with the audience than, you know, just having it said.
Yeah, definitely. So I watched that. That was really good. I mean, it had, just to name a few people, a character called Harry Dean Stanton. The actor Harry Dean Stanton playing the ranch runner Slim. Then we've got the French traveller, which was Frederick Goldman. The Native American was Michael Hawes. Two other cowboys on the ranch was Dusty and Pete, played by Tracy Walter and Jack Nance. And there was a final cowboy played by Rick Gilroy. And then I also watched this morning Blue Velvet, which was rather maddening. So that's got characters, to name a few. Dorothy Valens is played by Isabella Rossellini. She's a singer in it, and she's kind of sexually exploited ultimately by a character called Frank. There's a lot of sexual abuse involved in that film, which is quite harrowing and hard to watch at times. But I believe there's something to do with the villain is ultimately kind of blackmailing her because he's kind of taken her husband and perhaps a child or something, and then it escalates where he kind of uses her for sexual things. That's kind of hard to. Would
you feel that film would actually do well with modern audiences now, or do you think it would struggle?
I don't think it did. I don't think it did that well at the time. It was really divided opinion. That film, it's a cult film. Not many people kind of, because I think a lot of people. It
sounds like quite a hard film to watch.
Yeah, it was kind of given. A lot of people mentioned that it was what is the point of the kind of mindless violence involved, but I think there is. When I've watched it, I have written a few notes. I'll try and pull them up from somewhere, wherever I put them. I might be missing the point, but I've wrote that she obviously is this individual within the film, and the antagonist being Hopper and the protagonist. They both are a victim of. Well, they both become the abuser at one point in the film, but in different ways. The villain embraces it, but the other character doesn't. That's how I see it, because there's a bit where it gets a bit rapey with the main character, the protagonist as well, right? And he's supposed to be the person who's helping her, and it all becomes a bit weird there, right? So but he's guilty, and he feels like, you know, and there's a bits where he has to protect her, and he's and he's disgusted by the other guy, and like it's really weird how it connects. I mean, that's how I was kind of half watching because I was trying to make notes and write up other stuff, but that's how I kind of saw it. And then the main character, who's played by Dennis Hopper, right? Yeah, was just evil, absolutely. Oh, honestly, it's like there's a bit in it where he goes to a party at the kind of 2/3 in. He's got a bit of a gang with him. He discovers that the main character, Jeffrey, has been around this woman's house, and he takes him hostage, kind of thing, and he ends up taking him to this party, and they all start singing Roy Orbison songs, and he ends up like shouting, beating on him, and like everyone's obviously fearful of him because he's fucking nuts. But there's a point where one of the characters in the room starts singing the song, and he's singing it with him, and you can see in his head that he's actually getting kind of like the idea of what he's asked for gets stale in his mind, and he just has to do something else. It's almost bipolar. It's like, he's got to be doing something different, you know. He's just got this mania throughout the whole film. It's just like really, really convincing. And yeah, he definitely steals the film. He's a really good part in it. And as I found as well, there's a point where he takes a drug in it, which seems to be like some sort of gas.
Yeah.
And particularly when he's with Dorothy, before he's about to do something horrible to her, he takes this gas almost like he's embracing the evil, and it kind of...
Oh, inhaling the evil.
Yeah, and it brings out the worst in him even more, and you can see his eyes going, and yeah, it's all kind of horrible. So you can see where Gary Oldman kind of got his Leon type stuff when he takes that pill in that. Yeah, it was good. At the very start, I mean, this is how it's completely, you know, Lynchified. Within the first 2 minutes, there's a guy who has kind of like a stroke, and he's like kind of mowing the lawn. And he's got a hose pipe, and the hose pipe, he's still holding it, and it's spraying out, and this dog's trying to eat the hose pipe, and it goes in slow motion, and it's all weird. You're like, what the hell am I watching? Because it has no context. You know, he's fallen in the ground. And then once that's done, it kind of zooms into the grass. No, that's like 10 minutes in. This bit zooms into the grass, and there's just these weird, horrible, like these insects, beetles eating each other, and it's just it's kind of like a little bit like when we discussed about the guy eating earlier.
Yeah.
It had that kind of grotesque kind of feel to it. Yeah, 10 minutes later, it's got the ear bit. It's very noir-y. There's like an eerie sound to it. There's very little music. Even the dialogue doesn't have much in the background. It's all kind of very eerie, like they're talking into a room. Everything's really dark. The sets are dark, and it's got that detective vibe. Ultimately, because the main character finds the ear, and he then tries to work out what's happened in the town, and that's when he gets caught up into all this stuff. And he finds that girl, and she's singing in a club, and she sings Blue Velvet, hence the film's name. Follows her. There's a great scene, probably the best scene, when he goes and follows her into her apartment, hides in her wardrobe. She's in the living room, and she walks into the back. She goes into the bathroom, and she sort of undresses, and there's a constant switch between him and what he's looking at and you looking at him. And you know that classic shot where you see someone in a wardrobe and you see the slits in the wardrobe. You know, it's a classic camera shot, right? But the way it's composed, the shot is like you've got the living room right at the front, and you've got this little bit in the background of her in the bathroom getting undressed. Because it's like the nature of what you're looking at, you kind of can't take your eyes off what she's doing, right?
Yeah.
She's undressing. So it puts you in the cupboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You feel like you're in there kind of watching what's happening.
That's showing camera work that doesn't feel like camera work.
Yeah. I mean, I see it from
Yeah.
that perspective because I know kind of what I'm looking at, you know. But
but
for
what
someone
I mean
else,
is,
I think
as
that
you
would
know,
be
if you were the audience, you would not be thinking about
definitely no. I mean, I think if I'd have seen it for the first time and I wasn't being as conscious of what I'm writing down, I probably wouldn't have seen it myself. But yeah, it's very clever how they do that bit. And then there is again the way it's then acted. There's a constant, well, for me at least, there's a constant power switch. So who the fuck is this guy in my closet, right? She gets a knife. Whoa, that's kind of threatening. So you're like, oh shit, and she's like, take your clothes off. She gets him to take his clothes off. And then she sort of touches him kind of inappropriately. Then there's a knock at the door. Hopper comes, that guy. She puts him back in the closet. He's got the power now. He then beats on her. That's horrible. He does this whole mummy thing with her. So you think, oh, is this a bit fetishy? She's got the power again, but she hasn't. And then he leaves. Matey comes out the closet. Dynamic again, but he's got the control now because he's looking after a vulnerable woman. So it's really a lot of swaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you feel it. You know, you kind of, it's kind of... That, I could say that scene's probably one of the highlights of the film.
I think it does sound like David Lynch's mission is basically to mess with your head as much as possible.
Oh yeah, but that's
to
be expected, I guess, isn't it? Yeah. You got to question all the moral bits, especially from what I said earlier, when it gets a bit odd with them two.
It's quite normal compared to Eraserhead.
That's his first, right?
One of his early ones. Yeah, it's just
mental. Yeah, I've seen the cover. It's black and white, though, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of got the whole wispy hair kind of thing going on. Yeah, and he's also done The Elephant Man as well, which is very good. John Hurt.
Yeah, that is a good film. Classic.
Yeah. So that's about all I've got really on my little task. So I guess I'll hand you to Guy. What you got?
So I had to watch 3 comedies from 3 different decades. So first up, I've got Animal Crackers, which had the Marx Brothers in. It didn't really hold me attention, but I suppose comedy films have moved on from 1930s. I'm sure it would have been funny at the time. I didn't get it.
Sorry, what? That was from 1930s?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. Right.
Short? It was about an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I guess it was all filmed on one soundstage. It was more sort of like a variety performance, so I didn't follow the narrative at all.
What type of comedy did it kind of lean into? Was it kind of like slapsticky, or was it punchline-y, or like that kind of... Don't know.
I was expecting it to be slapsticky, like that's what the Marx Brothers are sort of famous for, and it didn't sort of like have that element to it. Maybe I should try another Marx Brothers films. I welcome any recommendations on that. And then the next one was The Mouse That Roared from 1973.
The Mouse That Roared?
Yeah.
I've not heard of that either.
It starred Peter Sellers.
All right.
He played 3 different characters in it as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's the story about a small imaginary country called Fenwick.
Right.
That declares war on America over wine.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. You're already selling it to me.
The country of Fenwick had its own wine. It was Vino de Fenwick or something like that.
Right.
And some American winemakers copied it and called theirs Vino de Enic. And so the people of Fenwick decided that they're going to invade America, and the plan is to lose the war so that they can win the peace and get their name back. So they sail off to America dressed up as knights. The Americans think that they're being invaded by aliens because these men are running around in chainmail. And then they kidnap or they take prisoner this American general, sail him back to Fennec, and the person that they sent over, one of Peter Sellers' characters, is meant to be a good-for-nothing loser, but he's sort of like comes back and we captured this and we won against America. And there's also a new type of nuclear bomb involved as well that they bring back with them, a Q bomb.
A Q bomb.
So yeah, there's quite a bit of eccentricity going on. Possibly not as hilarious as modern comedies, but
right.
it's got it in there as Peter Sellers as well.
Yeah.
One thing I did pay attention to was the editing, and for its time, it's a masterclass. And with what you were saying earlier about green screens and things like that, this is his gem.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because Peter Sellers is playing 3 characters, and they're having conversations, and it's flipping between the two. So there's been like splicing film together to get it seamless. At times, there's even sort of like the different characters of Sellers in the same shot. And this is a 1973 film.
That's a really hard thing to do.
It was quite enjoyable to watch, and like I say, it was just from an editing point of view. Even though sort of like I've not done much film editing, just like wow, there's too much reliance on special effects. Yeah, the skill that's gone in to producing that. And then the third one was a short 1990s film, an Irish one called Green Oranges.
Green Oranges.
And it's about a couple of old age pensioners that go on a date.
Oh, that's nice.
That was pretty enjoyable actually, because it's sort of the woman that's sort of like going on the date, she's sort of like giving the chap the run around a little bit, and the chap he's getting ready and he's sort of like going through the things, and then his son is sort of like going, now you behave yourself, Dad, don't want you getting into trouble, make sure that you got all this and be back by 10.
Yeah.
Sort of, it's sort of like the reversal of the father.
The reverse, yeah.
And then, but there's one bit it sort of brings out the fragility of being old, where the lady, she goes to the toilet and she falls off the toilet, and she's lying there on the floor all by herself, being old, and
sure.
And she wants to cut the date short because she's not feeling too well. And while she's been to the toilet, the man that she's on the date with, he's bumped into an old flame. So there's a bit of love rivalry going on.
Right, okay.
And she, the lady that fell off the roof, she's sort of like, oh, I think I might go home, I'm not feeling too good. Love rival sort of like, oh, I'll stay around with you, and he's like, oh no, I'll go with her.
Right.
And they stick together, and the rival sort of like walks off, and there's a little funny moment with that. And they continue to have the date, and there's a happy ending. The Irish sense of humour shines through.
Oh, that's good. What's the sort of airtime of that?
10 minutes long, so it does pack quite a bit in.
That's about to say, it sounds like it's quite rich in storyline there, doesn't it?
There's also a couple of things that are happening in the background as well that if you pick up on as well, that's quite comical.
Yeah.
Green Oranges, you've got 10 minutes spare, it's on YouTube.
That sounds quite good.
Yeah.
The Green Oranges as well, there's a type of orange, well apparently oranges were originally green.
Right, okay.
And the place where he takes the lady to is this orange tree that grows green oranges.
Ah, so there's the symbolism.
And whether that's sort of like
what it was.
Yeah, and with green and orange as well, possibly. Is there some sort of unification going on there?
Right, okay.
Well, actually, come to think about it, yes, there might have been a bit of unification there. So yeah, and that was my task. But yeah, Mouse at Road, that was pretty good as well.
Yeah. You say Mouse at Road? I've just pulled up Mouse at Road on here. I've got a 1959 version.
Did it get remade?
This is what I'm thinking.
Was the one you saw, was it in colour?
Yeah.
That's in colour.
Yeah.
As well.
Or maybe I've got the dates wrong there. Well, I thought it was like 1973.
Peter Sellers.
Yeah. Oh, blimey, what did it... Oh, blimey, that's going to go out on the internet. You're going to have people bombarding you.
With facts.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm sure that's already going to be the case.
You know, if there's any mistakes, correct. You know, it's no harm if you can. You got that date wrong,
Yeah.
let us know, it's fine.
Yeah. So, same to be said by any film we slate.
Which...
It's an opinion.
All of.
It's just an opinion,
Which if
and
it
we're
isn't
not
like
necessarily
a 50s
right.
Film, the editing makes it even more amazing.
It does, yeah. If anything, it makes it, it's even more of a statement to it. Yeah. Ryan.
Yeah, might not be as well in depth as those ones, but it watched Lion King, the animated version. Obviously, everyone grew up with Lion King, the cartoon, surely, the Disney.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It is a
Absolute
classic.
classic.
Everyone knows the main scenes of it. And this new animated one, well, is it?
What?
What's that?
He's not seen it.
Oh. You got an outline.
You've not seen the animated version? 94, my year.
Please tell me you haven't seen a live action one first.
No.
No good.
No, right. Well, the live action one obviously is not as good because, I mean, you grew up with the original, nothing's going to really compare, really. But the one definite key difference is that even though it's much more visually impressive, the cartoon, even though it's more simple, that it's easier to understand facial expressions and emotions on them. Because now they're more realistic, you can't have them like a big old smile or
Yeah, I see what you're
anything
saying.
like that. Well, you can do a little bit. They do like
They can exaggerate the emotion with
Yeah.
animation.
everything is much, even though the old one's more simple and easier to understand. It's still similar story premise, especially with Scar moving in, trying to take over after getting rid of Mufasa.
Yeah.
Mufasa, terrible name.
And that hyena scene.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing that you're saying there, then, because obviously, like you say, if there's a lacking of an emotional response from the physicality of it, do you think that because I've not seen it, is there any kind of outstanding voicing?
Yeah, emotionally wise.
Because they've got to really bring it then, haven't they?
Yeah, they are good. They are good. It's just, visually, it's just, they don't need to say any words in the cartoon sometimes.
Yeah,
when they're
it's
upset.
all there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's much, but obviously this one would have been more expensive to do and probably even harder to animate fur, and make it look realistic.
Yeah. Is it a parallel? Is it absolutely the same?
Story Beach, yeah, but it's been a while since I should have watched the original as well. So I can't really say because there could be scenes that I don't remember where I see this and I'm like, oh, did that happen? Did this happen? Main Story Beach, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I heard in the latest one they took the hyena scene out.
the hyena scene.
Yeah,
There's
where they
definitely
all look
hyenas
at
in it.
Scar.
Oh, where they all look at Scar.
Yeah.
They're in it, but I'll have to rewatch that scene on the original as well.
It's a singing.
Yeah.
Singing.
It's a singing, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's a lot of songs in the original.
There is, yeah. I just can't wait to be king. Because I just can't
But
wait
none of
to
it
be
beats the
king.
original.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I think
It's watchable still. It's still you could watch it and enjoy it still. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
John Farrow. call him.
The one off he's on
Iron
Marvel.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did it, didn't he? I think he did, yeah.
I can't remember.
I
that
will
as
check now.
but
it's the same with
2019,
yeah.
directed by, John Farrow.
It's the same with the Aladdin one as well that they remade. It's that's very different as well.
And it suggests here that James Earl Jones is still Mufasa.
Is it?
Which is well, I don't know unless it's casted, unless it's wrong on the internet.
Oh, right.
It is, but that's what it says there. If that's the case, then that's absolutely right. Because how the hell could you recast him?
yeah,
How? That's impossible.
But the lines themselves look really cool.
I still feel though with these sort of films like The Little Mermaid,
Cinema.
The Lion King, I do feel like it's a bit of Disney, like, we don't know what to make, so we'll just remake old stuff.
I know, I agree. It's all just,
It's that strategy. I get exactly what you mean about the emotional value, though, because I do feel that because the animation is technically the old school, original drawn one, there's a lot more...
exaggeration in it.
Yeah. Like, there's more artistic license with that. As I feel like with the CGI... You can't do the same, and also with the CGI, I actually feel that looks more fake than the original, which is a bit bad,
because
isn't
nothing
it?
can look fake on a cartoon.
No, yeah.
Everything fits.
Yeah.
You know, because I think when you have cartoon drawn animation, the only problem you have is when you start bringing like 3D models into animation. A lot of Japanese shows are starting to do this, and you notice it, and it does destroy the immersion.
All right.
And also with animation as well, like that 2D animation of that era of the 90s and kind of sort of seeping into the 2000s it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff that like in under Disney, I mean, you had Mulan, you had that, you had the film called Atlantis. That's a great film.
The latest movie.
Treasure Planet, great.
Yeah.
You know, all those films, they all had this kind of similar 2D style, and they were just great.
I saw the modern Mulan, and it's nowhere near as good as the original.
I put it on, I forgot it was on. I didn't want,
Original Mulan,
didn't hook me.
Disney's.
Great. You seen what we went to the cinema the other day, and they're doing a live action Lilo and Stitch as well, aren't they?
Based on the poster, that
I mean,
Stitch
looked
real more like.
No.
I'm going to check.
Yeah. Because they're not going to animate people.
That's
they're gonna
wrong,
have
isn't
people
it?
with
Oh, wait a minute.
animated-
Are they going to bring Gareth Gates back to do the sound?
That's wrong, though, isn't it? It's so wrong. How can you...
It looks like it, didn't it? Based on the picture of Stitch.
Original cast members, Tim Currier, Annie Hill, Jason Scott, Lee will appear in Lilo and Stitch, scheduled to be released in the United States, Walt Disney Motion Pictures, 23rd of May, 2025. Doesn't really stipulate, is it?
Live action.
Who is... Yeah, no, it is. Who is playing the live action Lilo and Stitch show? Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Why?
No, this is Disney just reusing their back catalogue.
Well, it's like we've done it 4 times. We'll do it with every film we've got.
Well, not just.
I think Snow White's coming out
I
next
can
month
tell you
as
why
well.
they're doing this though.
So I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
This is all to do with finance, because all they have to do is hire like a script editor. They don't have to hire as many writers to do it because the script's already there.
Oh, shit.
So they can just reuse old material.
Yeah, it's just a complete money grab, innit? Yeah.
But I think they will find that people will not. I don't think they're making the numbers that they used to.
Well, no.
Because the point is, a lot of the
absolutely
stuff people are like, well, I can get the old version cheaper.
not. Mm,
Like, a lot of people are going backwards on stuff.
yeah. Right, it's gone to your
Now, Callum.
little thing of the month, Callum.
The drawing hat.
Drawing hat. What was your task?
It's anything noir after the year 2000.
Okay.
I basically looked at like Sin City, Blade Runner, everything like that. We've seen them all. I wanted to watch films I haven't seen.
Okay.
Basically, so but I found a film called Brick.
Brick.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
got Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it. It's very well, it is a noir film, obviously. Don't want to say that. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to keep it very brief because I only watched it last night. It was rushed. But it was basically like Chinatown set in like a high school. Basically.
Okay.
But you didn't like you'd think, oh, high school it's going to be like cheesy and.
So what's the plot line of it then? Is there like a killing thing involved?
Yeah, he
or?
basically finds the first 2 minutes. He finds his ex, who's dead in like an underground tunnel.
That's within the school premises.
No, but then he goes straight. He's in school. Obviously, it's the same school. But then like it's basically him finding out like who killed her, and what happened. But it's all like very detective, and you can't tell it's in a school really.
That's where the noir element comes
Yeah,
into it then.
you can't really, tell that it's in a school and just I don't know. It is a noir film. That's all I can really say about it. There's bits. It was good and the bad. You couldn't really hear half the people talking in it at points. And,
All right.
but
Okay.
it kind of added to the element of it being.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was it kind of twisty at the end, like the overall plot line, or
Yeah,
is it,
like
or was
most
it
noir
obvious?
films are, there's always something that happens and you don't really notice it till the end, and he clocks onto this woman having a cigarette. In like the first 10 minutes, the person that's supposed to have killed her, someone throws a cigarette out of the car, and
Oh, okay.
he ends up telling her that she smokes those type of cigarettes.
Right.
But it was good. I can't remember the director.
I've got it now.
But you said
Ryan Johnson, it's called.
Yeah, I think he did The Last Jedi. It's like,
Yeah, it is,
It's,
yeah.
it's the first film.
He's well. I don't know whether that's correct because you know it's off. No. Not saying about that film, but it's also saying. Oh no, yeah, he directed Knives Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like Knives Out. Glass Onion, not so keen, but
Ryan
Knives
Johnson's
Out's great.
very hit and miss.
Yeah.
Like, it can be a hit, but sometimes it can be a miss.
Looper.
Yeah.
So obviously
But it's
collaborating
got
again
everything, yeah.
with him. Yeah, that's bloody good. That
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
That's
it is.
excellent.
Well, I've never heard of it before till found it.
No, I can't say I have. That's obviously. No, he's got 90s stuff, but that looks more like kind of shorty, filmy kind of things by the looks of it. But yeah, The Brothers Bloom, Brick, Looper, Wake Up the Dead Man. That's the new Knives Out.
Okay.
Last Jedi. Partially Rogue One. Okay, well, I guess we'll distribute from our sorting hat.
Yeah. Forgive me if they're not good enough.
Well, you do these,
I did
Ryan.
these. Yeah.
This,
But
yeah.
I tried to think of something.
Are you going to get Gryffindor or Slytherin? We'll have a go.
Well, we're mentioning that fantasy series that is in the beta right now.
Oh, wow, yes, we shall. Yeah.
Which
there's an American doing Dumbledore. It's the guy from Third Rock from the Sun who was in Conclave. He's in...
Jude Law.
No. That's Dumbledore from the Dumbledore one.
Well,
You know what I mean, don't you?
Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah. Older fella.
Lithgow. John Lithgow.
Oh, well,
Maybe, I don't know.
Brian Lithgow.
He's
fun.
in talks to play
Which one
Dumbledore.
did you get?
I got watch one sci-fi film
Oh.
with bad reviews and see if it's justified.
Oh, that's a good brief.
I love watching bad films.
Yeah.
when you say sci-fi, it has to be science fiction. It can't be fantasy.
That's still sci.
No, it's not. It's
No,
different.
okay.
But yeah, so I need to find a bad sci-fi.
I'm sure
film.
there's many out there.
I'm sure there is some out there. I'm sure there's. I'm gonna have to, I just hope I don't get too addicted to watching bad ones.
Might have a few more than one. Guy?
Okay. What we got?
Good luck.
Watch 2 short films that are horror.
Yeah. Simple one.
Explain it. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice and simple. You get all the shorts. Okay. Oh,
thank you.
okay, you can have that
There
one.
we go. That's the one I've got. Oh, this is weird. I got this because I haven't seen it. Watch 12 Angry Men.
Oh wow,
A
that's good.
classic. That's
Yeah,
all
okay.
right.
I know
Very
what film I'll watch after Earth.
Oh, the Will Smith and Jane Smith.
Yeah,
Okay.
good. All right, okay.
that got badly reviewed.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Who wrote these?
Me.
Okay. What, your ideas as well?
A noir.
Yeah, sorry. That's many great ones.
A noir made in 2025.
No.
Okay.
What is
What's
it?
one subtitled film of any kind?
So, any
Okay.
film from another country.
Well, if you stick the subtitles on, any film can be subtitled.
The way I meant to say it, it was like a film from another country.
I know what you're
or
saying.
something.
Yeah.
In another language.
Yeah,
Okay.
another language.
Yes, okay. All right.
Demon Slayer.
Right.
It's animated, but it's good.
There's a lot of films as well, isn't there?
Lastly,
I've seen them.
lastly for me, we've got watch a remake and the original film it's based on.
Yeah, see which one's better. See if they did well with the remake.
Also watch both
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the original film.
And I
it's
know
based
there's going to be some good ones out there, so you won't be left with
Okay, I'll try and make that obscure as possible.
Yeah,
Make
it
it.
could, even if it's not heard of.
Oh, you missed an opportunity to let yourself watch Little Mermaid again.
No. I could stick with a Lynch and watch June again, I suppose.
You could.
Yeah.
Or you could watch both, what was it, Total Recalls.
Yeah, I know the two quite well. Well, I love the original, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
remake was
I-
fairly good.
Oh,
action.
no, it's not as good as the first, is it?
No, nowhere near as good
No.
as the first.
It's not got the wackiness of the first
I
one.
wonder that's why that's special.
Yeah, yeah. So on to our next bit, which is our short of the month. In contrast to what we said last month, I think we were supposed to find a film that got nominated, assumably for an Oscar, and we deemed it better than the winner. We didn't find that. However, what we did find was a film called The Gunfighter, which I've actually seen before today. The rest of us have viewed it just before this podcast. It's ultimately about a gunfighter who enters a saloon, and his actions are narrated by an unseen voice. Only everyone in the film hears the narrator talk, which creates this quite funny, westerny, kind
It
of
really,
surrealistic
yeah.
mental style. It is very funny.
I think we do need to mention that obviously the quality of the filming is very high quality.
Absolutely.
Like you would think that this was made by someone maybe with a budget of like Marvel or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, not Marvel, Amazon.
Yeah.
The film work for this
Shiny,
is so
isn't it?
good.
Yeah.
It's really good quality. And on top of it, the idea that it breaks the fourth wall, and it is just so humorous. It really, it pulls you in very quickly.
Yeah. But a lot of westerns would would start with a narrator. It's quite a common thing for it to go, man enters this, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of likes the old school, but then all of a sudden, oh, I can hear you. Where's that voice coming from? It's funny.
I must give all the actors in it credit. They do a really good job. The acting cast. Because in a way that's quite hard because you've got to pretend that you can hear a voice that isn't there, and some actors would struggle with that.
There probably was someone voicing off the lines.
No, there will be, but if someone was voicing the lines, there wouldn't be above them.
Right,
but they all look up.
Yeah.
Which is, it's such a small detail, but it's so effective.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common thing to do in filming, to do one person segments of dialogue and then do the other ones after, for example. But what you do is you tend to either have the person behind them saying the lines or the director saying the lines to give them that, and then just remove them as you go. Or it's kind of not always linear in conversation. It can be altered depending on what your time and everything's like. You might want to get one of theirs. They gotta go, so you gotta get theirs done.
Yeah.
You end up doing it all for him, and then you kind of add theirs in after us, or whatever. Yeah. So there are elements of having to think on your feet a little bit when you're acting it out. But with this, like you say, you are kind of looking up into nowhere, aren't you? And it's
the
kind
funniest guy was definitely the dad, the one that was trying to retract his statement.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
It gives off like a little bit of information from the time in a humorous fashion, and he does it very well, which I really like that, because it's not trying to say anything, but it's like these are the facts of the time. Because there's like a certain character that some people, they shouldn't be there. It's like, well, it addresses that, and it addresses very well comedically as well. Like, it has very good comedic chops, which is very rare to see nowadays.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best shorts I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it the first time around randomly, I thought, well, that's amazing. Who's done that? Like, that's kind of like you say, somebody big's done that, kind of thing.
Production value-wise.
It is really, very good.
If you're listening to
Just
Amazon,
shiny.
maybe contact them.
Yeah.
Buy it, put it on streaming.
Oh, as you were watching it, you said, kind of the idea of doing a feature, Mike. Would it still keep its charm of that kind of constant narration above it?
No, but what I mean is, don't make it a series, but just buy that short. And just put it on Amazon.
Absolutely.
Like, somewhere like Amazon or Netflix, it's such a nice little short, and it's so good.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're probably just a small group who made it. Power to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The narrator's quite famous, though.
Yeah.
Narrator is Nick Offerman, which he was in Parks and Recreation. He plays Bill in Last of Us, and he does another comedy stint, from a channel on YouTube, I think, as well. I can't remember what it is, though.
Was it?
I might be
I'm
wrong.
not sure.
But yeah. No, yeah, he's pretty big. Other casting notes are Sean Parsons as the gunfighter,
Recognise that name.
Scott Biener as Tommy Henderson, Brace Harris as Johnny Henderson, Eileen O'Connell as Sally, Jordan Black as Sam, Timothy Brennan as Bill Jessup, Travis Lincoln Cox as Elijah Jessup, Sean Hodges as Gabriel Jessup, and director being Eric Kissack, who had also done... Well, he's done a lot of editorial work, according to...
Editor.
Yeah, he's done a lot of editorial work from 2007.
That shows. I must say the editing was spot on.
Yeah, it's clean, isn't it?
Yeah, very clean. There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. Watching it, going, oh, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Everything felt spot on.
Did the editing for Bruno and The Dictator.
Oh, okay, that's pretty
So that's quite... You can see where the comedy
Yeah.
editing
Yeah,
comes
no, I
into
can
it.
see,
can't you?
yeah.
timing, right?
Yeah, it's all about... And Harold and Kumar.
Okay, yeah, classics.
Yeah, quite a lot of comedy by the looks of it. Directing credits for The Selection, Love, Sex and Misconnections. That's his debut.
Okay.
He did this film back in 2014. That's all I'm getting on
Is
it.
he doing anything recently?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm only getting credits. The Good Place. He's got some sort of... That's editorial again. He's obviously quite keen on his editing. That's what I'm kind of getting. He did Horrible Bosses 2 editing.
Okay.
Daddy's Home, Good Place, Instant Family. The last thing he did, according to this, is The Selection, which is a fourth season of The Good Place. 6 episodes. He directed that. Don't really know much about what that is.
Well, we're interested to see what he does next.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, definitely, because that's
Yeah.
really good.
The short was really good, so I feel like I think it'd be nice to see him do more directing, because he directed the short, didn't he?
Yeah,
So it'd be nice to see him to do a bit more directing.
yeah. Any other thoughts on the short? What did you think, Guy?
Yeah, quite enjoyed it. There's one bit where sort of like the jokes sort of got repetitive, and you think it's just finished, and I was like, oh, fine, that's finished. And it brings it back again, and
Yeah.
I was actually quite pleased that they brought it back, even though I'd sort of tired of it.
That's one of the narrator bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what he said now, but yeah, he said, yeah.
And yeah, it worked pretty well, I thought. And at first, I thought when the gunfighter picked up on the voice, I thought that the other people in the room would just sort of like deny, like, don't know what you're on about at all.
Yeah.
But then the other characters heard it.
Yeah. Because it could have gone that way, couldn't it? They could have done it where it's kind of like, oh, it's a voice in his head, and only he can hear it.
They knew that would work in a short, and they knew how effective it was, so hats off to them. Very, very good on the right side.
It was pretty nice set as well.
Yeah.
Lit quite well. Yeah.
The lighting, the camera work, and the set design was all, you couldn't fault it.
The writer, according to this, is Kevin Tenglin.
All right, has he done
Werewolves in 2014, same year, and The Heist. Right, okay, so I guess now we'll go on to our feature of the month, to which I believe myself and Ryan are the only two to have seen it up to this point. But yes, it was...
What would you describe it as?
I'll just... so it was Captain America, Brave New Worlds. We watched it last... When did we watch it? On Friday. Friday we watched it. Yeah, so 2 days ago. It was directed by Nigerian-American Julius Ona. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. With other works such as The Girl in Trouble, Cloverfield Paradox, and an award-winning Loose. Comic book Marvel tale follows Sam Wilson, aka Captain America, played by Anthony Mackie, entangled in a plot to kill the current president, Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford, One of the attempted assassins is his beloved friend Isaiah Bradley, played by Callum. Captain is in disbelief and attempts to look into the plot deeper, accompanied by his friend Joaquin Torres, played by Danny Ramirez, aka the New Falcon, discovering everything to be a setup and the master pulling the strings being Samuel Stearns, played by Tim Blake Nelson, an imprisoned mastermind with one purpose: to humiliate and dismantle President Ross at any cost. Stern possesses an ability to use the mind control on just about anyone and uses this to create a war between America and Japan, and then blaming all of this on Ross. Cap manages to break the plot apart, but Stern's work is not done. He has one more mystery to uncover. Ross has secretly been taking a drug keeping him alive from Stern for a number of years. Only this drug contains gamma radiation, and it alters Ross's state into a rage-filled beast, the Red Hulk. Ross and Cap have a brutal fight all about Washington. The only thing stopping the unstoppable rage in Ross's memory is of his beloved daughter. The Cap draws him to a place that reminds him of moments with his daughter, and then when he goes to his normal state, he is taken into custody and kept in a cell for the world's protection.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Now I add that to the
Yeah.
I add it to the descriptions, of course. So some credits, according to IMDb, go to music by Laura Cartman, cinematography Kramer Morgan Fu, I hope I pronounced that right, edited by Madeline Gavin and Matthew Schmidt, and casting by Sarah Finn. And a little bit of info. It was a 180 million budget, and it's opened already with a 208 million
Really?
in its first week, yes, making it one of the biggest of the year already. How good is that?
It's one of the biggest disappointments in Marvel for me.
wait. Well, how was it? So, how much? 200?
208 million in a week, I think that was when I looked.
Yeah, but you do know for a film to be successful, it needs to make at least.
Double its
Yeah.
but that's in a week.
They still made the money back.
But
they got a fair bit of time left.
They have, but usually it's after the first week it very quickly drops.
Yeah, of course. No, absolutely. Yeah, they always is the biggest amount is when in the first week. But I think,
And this film's been in development hell for a long time.
Was it?
Yeah.
So that could have massively impacted how it was done.
Yeah, because they announced it like ages ago that it was coming.
yeah.
Well, I like the Falcon, Sam Wilson.
I don't think
In the
it's a
other
lacking
films,
of
in the other
characters. I don't think it's a lacking of.
I don't know, just I just want enjoyable.
How did you find having a second Falcon in the film? Because I found when you mentioned there's a second Falcon, I'm like,
Oh, he's
actually-
kind of like more than just in training because he is good, but he's not.
He's not Dean Falcon till the end. Well, like so
Yeah.
so ultimately I'll tell you to ruin it for you. So obviously he's the new Captain America,
yeah,
right?
well, I know that.
That goes without saying. And at the start of the film, he has to intercept an individual that has taken a serum. He does it as like a government job,
Yeah.
right? And there's all this, actiony stuff. And then there's a military guy behind the lines that's kind of helping the Falcon, giving him his intel. And then there's a point where he goes, "Can I get the suit?" And he kind of goes, "Fine, you can get the suit," kind of thing. And he lets him kind of go on one of his action adventures with him, and he kind of helps him out, but he's kind of this backstory character. Actually, to be fair, he's quite good. I found him quite funny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
It's he's a funny element to it.
Was there any of that dreadful humour where there's like a really serious scene and then they fire jokes?
To be
no.
honest, I didn't take anything massively serious in it anyway, to be honest with you.
No, which is a good thing.
That's rare for Marvel.
Because Marvel do that
Really-
like that
yeah.
slapstick
Yeah.
humour that's just shocking.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I just about tolerate puny God, and that's it. Big punch. Kind of side of the screen. I hate all that. I don't like Thor being fat.
Did you not?
No,
No.
it's like
I thought it
8-year-old.
was funny.
It's for 8-year-olds.
Did this film
That's why I
feel
like.
more-
That's why I like DC.
Yeah.
That's why I like Joker because it's supposed to be awful.
Yeah. But Marvel is good.
Did it have a lot of like trying to reach back to the old films?
I don't think so. There's a character on it from the fact the main bad guy is off Edward Norton's hook.
Which I find that surprising for them to bring back that character.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's in a lot of Coen Brothers
He
films.
is. He's very good.
But I find it very interesting.
And they wasted
Yeah, he's crap. And not him acting it,
Yeah.
but the actual the usage of him isn't very good.
And some parts of the film seemed, even though it's clearly a lot of money spent on the film,
Well, you said
seemed
it's
cheap.
lazy.
Yeah, it's something cheap about it.
Yeah.
Well, they had a lot of reshoots,
Yeah.
and maybe that's showing, sadly, that it had a lot of reshoots. It had very poor test screenings.
He had this bit where he, so as I say, he uses mind control kind of
Yeah.
techniques. So he'd been locked away for years by Harrison Ford, right? And he promises him that he will make him president because he has this ability, his mind, he has gamma radiation that's affected him.
I know the character from the comics.
You know the character, right? So he's a great thinker, so he can do things with probability, so he can work out pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ends up being able to find stuff in people's DNA where he can affect them and use their minds, control them. So the assassination attempt is actually him,
Yeah.
right? So everyone involved, they weren't involved. It was just him doing it. Harrison Ford finds out he has like a condition with his heart, and the only place he's before he becomes president, he has only but one choice: to go to him to help.
Yeah.
Right? He gives him this pill, and he says, like, if I make you president, you'll let me leave. When he becomes president, he doesn't. So he's got demons in the closet, and he doesn't actually know he's Red Hulk until
that's a
it
very different
gets
take
kind of
from
towards the
the
end.
comic.
Yeah, did he not know?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't really know. He says
Yeah,
let
yeah.
it out, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
He doesn't
that's
know.
true, that's right.
He's
Just-
trying to antagonise
Yeah.
him to
Yeah.
make him
'Cause if-
blow up.
Anyone listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure in the comics, the storyline for Red Hulk was Thunderbolt Ross was afraid of Hulk, so he wanted to make another Hulk to deal with the other Hulk. but
Oh,
not
that's
Hulk.
how it worked out.
Yeah.
You think?
Sure if I remember that
There
right.
is an underlining part where he had a confrontation with Hulk prior to the film.
Yeah.
Because he's a general, he's a war
Yeah.
general before he becomes president.
Well, he was part of the project that made Hulk.
Right, and he...
Yeah, because before that it was another actor playing
Yeah.
what.
Who's Bruce Banner's Hulk? The
It'd be the Edward Norton one, this one's one.
yeah, but who's the actress who plays his partner in it? In the original.
In the original, you got me there. Obviously,
So long ago
we
now.
know the Edward Norton one. We know her, but that one I can't remember. I just remember Big Dogs being on it,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, it's Jennifer Connelly.
oh right, oh face. comes
So
up.
let's be honest, there's a possibility that Red She-Hulk is going to be turning up now.
It's very possible.
What was the second one called? Just Hulk.
Yeah, the original. I think it's seen.
Or is it The Incredible
The
Hulk?
think it's the
Incredible
Incredible
Hulk, go for
Hulk,
that
yeah.
one. It's Thingy Tyler, right?
That's what I'm thinking. So she is in the original as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
Liv
she
Tyler.
is.
So that makes sense. It connects her to this
Yeah.
because she's in this. Got it. I wonder. I'm really interested after I watched that. I should have said that. How much they paid her to be
Just
in
to
it?
be in that
Because
for
she's
a
in it
minute.
for like 5 seconds.
You know, no word for lie. No word for lie.
She just rocks up at the end, and everything else is a voice.
Behind the window as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something.
Hey, Daddy. And I'm quite glad because I thought that was going to be really cringy,
Well-
but it wasn't, so it was okay.
So, out of interest, after you've seen that film, how do you feel about the Thunderbolts?
It actually looks decent to me.
I'm not. It's look. I'm less disappointed than Ryan is about watching this film because I went in there thinking I'm not. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't care.
What was your-
This is going to do nothing
Yeah.
for me, and I'm going to give it nothing. Right. So I wasn't going to be disappointed. Right. Ryan is tragically disappointed. So I don't even know anything about this Thunderbolts rabble, and
I don't know anything about them.
I just saw the trailer. It's just a lot of stupid
This is
punchliney
where
jokes and bad Russian accents.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. So
Do you
yeah.
wanna-
It's great.
The only hilarious thing is I have an entire collection of Thunderbolts comics.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's just say I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, let's hope that, you know...
There is no hope because they haven't got a lot of the original cast characters
right.
as the Thunderbolts. So already that's failing for me.
One thing I will say, in a lot of the adverts, the Fantastic Four looks very good. But I don't know, because again, like I don't dislike certain Marvel films, and I love comics, right? Certain ones, and Fantastic Four was one of the ones I used to like, and I've only ever been disappointed by Fantastic Fours.
So you didn't like the original two?
Shite. And they destroyed Silver Surfer. They made me...
No, the one that destroyed more than Silver Surfer was Doom.
Oh, yeah, well...
But you love Silver
Surfer's my favourite comic book character of all time, so that really was a major disappointment that they just made a B character out of him, and he's just like, no. But there was a Galacticus in it, so
You saw his shadow.
so you see a shadow over the Earth.
I remember seeing something, but I didn't click because I didn't
So
know
I'm
what it was
like,
Fantastic
without
Four.
Galacticus, there's no, you've got to have a Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Obviously, this is diverting off the Brave New World, but Fantastic Four has a chance because it's set in a different reality. So it has a chance of actually standing on its own and being a good film.
Yeah, and it's got quite a good Mescal, is it?
Mescal?
Yeah, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Paul Mescal.
Paul
Yeah.
Mescal.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Petro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Fantastic, right?
Yeah, he is. The woman in it, she's out of Mission Impossible. I know that she's in some of them.
Yes, it's got some quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't recognise Johnny.
No,
No,
I
I
didn't.
His name.
I
I
didn't.
didn't. No, I
recognise
can't.
it. Oh, I'll pull it up.
And the thing, it shows you his face as well, right? As before.
So while we're on this detour, would you both recommend Brave New World?
No.
No, I'm afraid not. But I
No.
like the Falcon. I like a lot of the characters.
No, there's a lot of things in it that's okay. I mean, like the acting's, they're relatively
They
alright.
tried.
Yeah, I quite like his mate as well, Isa or whatever.
Yeah.
The other one.
It's just.
You mean Bucky?
Yeah.
No,
No.
Bucky's in it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
If it isn't, I would have been there.
You love Bucky,
But
don't you?
at the start, even though the choreography and the fight scenes were pretty cool, some of them were pretty cool with
Yeah.
the moves he did and shit like that. But he just picked up this giant brick and just slammed someone super mega hard.
Oh yeah.
I thought, oh, he's got super serum. That's why he did that.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
Yeah.
have super serum. He doesn't have like robot parts or anything.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
picked a brick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bit in it where he talks about he has this like real bad outlook in life because I didn't take that serum.
Yeah, I think
He
what?
keeps going on about how he didn't take the serum that
Steve Rogers. had.
Steve Rogers obviously had that made him like superhuman.
Yeah, because the idea
And
is
now-
that Bucky's had it.
Yeah, and now he's doing, he's getting punched in the face with breeze block, with
Fighting the
big
Hulk.
bricks and getting smashed to pieces by
Well,
the
the
Hulk, but
idea
he's
is-
fine.
I heard rumour that his armour's built using the same material. That
Well,
His
Wakanda.
wings are.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
wings are.
Wakanda stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense for the wings.
It's yeah.
I am very surprised they didn't go with Bucky.
There's a bit at the start as
Yeah.
well where he has a fight with this bloke, right? And he goes, "I've been waiting to kill you." And he's like really smiley.
massive guy.
He's a big guy. You always get him in every single superhero film, and he ends up getting his ass kicked. He ends up having a fight with him, and
don't know.
there's a bit where he goes up to him and he punches him in the face, and he's smiling like this. And he does it about 6 times, and nothing changes. Like his face, so like this, like, yeah, like nothing. It's just, oh, come on. And it's not like they're not afraid of the violence because he breaks his arm,
Yeah.
and you hear it.
Yeah.
So just put in a couple of cuts. Or
And
something.
someone got the
Seriously.
face cut, didn't they? Didn't someone go up to him and slice the face a little bit? You saw like a little something.
Yeah, that's in a prison, isn't it?
I can't remember. But it's
There's a
stuff
little
like
stab
that.
to the
Yeah,
face,
there's
isn't
something
there?
like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just a mark.
Yeah, just something.
Or like the eyes starting to swallow and shut.
Some level of
Something,
threat,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's missing from all of them. They just delve too into the. It's just too weak,
Yeah.
What makes kid films from the '90s good, and and anything of that kind of ilk is a threat and the villain and the it was actually kind of a little scary,
Yeah, because I think like Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America got quite beaten up in that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he got shot a couple of times.
Yeah.
Pretty banged up in general. Eyes sort of.
Like, you got thrown around at least.
Yeah.
I like, Guardians of the Galaxy is great because it's got great anti-heroes and they're all edgy. They don't come from good stuff, and, Ronin's absolutely evil. And there's a point, literally his introduction is he has a hammer and he fucking lands it into someone's head.
Yeah.
You don't see it, but it's happened.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
As hell. Thanos wants to wipe out half the planet. That's cool.
And succeeds.
That's cool. The bad guy wins. That's great.
The hilarious
His
thing
head
is,
chopped off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's even. That's way. Yeah, forgot about that. That's brutal as hell.
Start of Endgame.
Yeah, like out of nowhere as well.
Yeah,
It's like
bang.
voff, done. Great.
I like that in Endgame where Thanos is just a farmer.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I've done what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
off
what
to
they
be a
did
farmer.
want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think one thing is, I would say the height of Marvel was Infinity War.
That's my favorite. One of my favorites. Yeah.
And then it started going
I
down
can
with
respect that,
Endgame.
yes.
Bad guys win.
Yeah.
But they came back strong a little bit in the end game. I still like that film, but I will admit Infinity War had a lot more.
Yeah.
X-Men. There's a reason why they're great because like the undertones are so. It's based on, Eric and the Eric scenes are all him being basically in a concentration camp.
Wolverine is just always like
And him-
everything bad that ever happened to him.
Yeah, how do you feel about X-Men First Class? 'Cause I actually still have quite good... I still like that film.
Yeah.
Other than Phoenix of the new ones, I like them all.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
what they do to poor old Kevin Bacon.
Wait,
That
you like
one.
X-Men Last Stand?
I can just about tolerate that one. I was on about the new wave lot. 1 and 2 are fields apart. One and 2 are miles apart from 3.
Yeah.
3 it's okay. It's still got great characters in.
Anyone listening, don't watch X-Men Last Stand, you'll regret it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got great characters in, other than the Juggernaut, But
the Juggernaut.
No, if you want...
when I was a kid, that was.
If you want to see... If you want to see the Juggernaut, just watch Deadpool. He's in one of Deadpool films.
But they all, at the same time, all the way down at the other end, we get Logan.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
What?
I know, it's terrible.
Oh, watch that.
Yeah,
I know.
Do
That's
yourself a favour.
amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, I need to see it.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a feel of threat in that.
There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of gore in that.
No, but X-Men's so good because it's about real stuff. It was basically challenging the mutants and of being. It's kind of like there's a racism kind of vibe to it. Like how they're cast aside as these, another people by humans, and you obviously got your people like Eric Magneto that wants to fight that by force, and then you've got Patrick
really
Stewart that wants to keep things harmonious.
I feel like James McAvoy and who's the guy?
Fassbender.
Yeah.
Play that great.
What I liked about those two actors was when they got hired to do First Class, they both contacted the previous actors like, John Stewart, can I play your role? And Michael Van Vester was with Ian McKellen, like, can I do Magneto? And Ian McKellen said, you can, but you have to come round to mine for dinner.
Yeah.
I didn't know they actually both contacted.
Yeah, they did.
Switchy said, no, I don't fancy that.
I don't think they'd say that. Would
No.
He said that in an interview with Alan Carr.
Yeah, but both of them are nice as ever, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
They're great.
But
as well.
he did say he met Michael Fassbender. Ian McKellen did.
How do you? Yeah, because you think how do you take Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart's roles from him, and then okay, all right, fine.
They
He
had
did
to
well.
get their blessing. So.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I feel that scene with Magneto in the German pub is just fantastic.
That is great, isn't
Yeah.
it? That again a threat. Like he's mowing them down. Like he's literally
but
like
that-
I'm
not
coming
just
for you.
that,
He's
though,
really like
It captures that dramatic tension because it's very slow to begin with, and then when the violence kicks in, it's like
he's just having a beer at the start.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Yeah. That's brilliant scene. That is. Yeah, really good.
so you don't see scenes like that in comic books
You
the
don't.
same.
No, you don't.
Because I think the problem is now it's a lot more about the spectacle rather than the narrative.
Again, that talk of good writing again, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Well, I actually think
Sometimes
films are
like
being
it.
rushed more, so the script editors are not having a chance to correct errors. Because I think you have beautiful writers out there who do really good work, but I think sometimes you need that person who isn't emotionally invested in the script to sit down with you and go, I'm really sorry, but we can reword this.
Yeah. Right, so I guess we'll get back on track. Where did we? Will we're changing the dynamic of our voting system. So what we'll do is we'll put mine and Ryan's vote on the board, score out of 10.
Captain America.
And then when the others have watched it, they may put their scores on the board, and we'll tally them up as we go on through the year. So what would you like to give that, Ryan?
3.
Wow, that is low.
What 3 out of what? What is it?
Well, you
3 out
can
of
wait,
100?
can't you, and just watch it when it's
Is that 3 out of 100 or 3 out of 50? Or?
It released to Disney in like
I'm
a few
not
months.
a Marvel fan, so I
No.
probably won't watch it with that recommendation.
So we'll average the scores
So
out.
I'm a Marvel fan, so it's...
So no, but what is that? 3 out of 50? 3 out of 100?
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah. So, yeah. CGI pointed out it's not great. It feels rushed. I'm not going to give it... I mean, I think the acting's pretty good.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
I like the fact that they don't have stupid-ass jokes in it. That's good, because that would have made me...
Is it working its
Because
way
at the
through?
moment, it's like, it didn't give me anything, but
Yeah.
at least it didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Did you experience what I experienced with Fall Over Thunder? That hurt me.
Exactly, yeah, precisely. But with that, you had obviously Christian Bale that was literally holding that film up like a world, wasn't he? Yeah.
Not just that,
The whole thing was on his back.
Screaming goats flying around it.
Yeah.
Poor Chris Hemsworth walked into that film going, right, Thor's rediscovered himself. What am I doing now? Thor's rediscovering himself. What?
Right.
That's a cool opening, isn't it? That's a
Yeah.
cool opening.
Yeah. And with that, he went back to Australia and did Mad Max instead. I don't know. I think I'd have to say 4. I mean, I don't think I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
I don't think I want to give it 2. I wasn't like angry.
I
or
wasn't
anything.
angry either, it's just like, oh.
It wasn't good, really, but it wasn't. I don't know. I think it was terrible. I mean, I've seen a lot worse.
Okay.
I think there's
That's
probably
nice.
worse Marvel.
No.
Yeah, I think there's a worse Marvel.
Yeah, there is Fall Over Thunder. Well, you actually like Fall Over Thunder more than Brave New World?
The Eternals. Terrible.
That's very slow, that's what that is. It's very long, and you're just waiting a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
Ending was
are there any more out there
Didn't finish.
that are bad? Like really bad?
Captain Marvel?
No, I didn't
Green
mind that.
Lantern. That's cool.
I didn't mind
Terrible how Samuel Jackson's character got a scar.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, what I found the problem for me with Captain Marvel was character development. Because her character's the same throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
Where she starts is where she ends, which is bad.
Guardians 2 was a disappointment, but not as bad as that.
Black Widow wasn't good.
No, that wasn't really that great either. I just wasn't interested.
Oh, I have a special pheromone.
That was boring, wasn't it?
I give off special perfume that stops you attacking me.
A lot of the Hawks aren't great.
Edward Norton.
That is an actor.
It's all-
Is he the first one? Oh no, that's Bruce
No,
Banner.
it's the second.
Yeah.
That's literally his name is Bruce Banner as well.
Yeah,
It should
no,
be
yeah,
great,
no.
shouldn't it?
But
It
it's,
really isn't.
That's Edward Norton and Tim Roth going head to head.
Yeah, great casting. Like, imagine that. Tim Roth as well. I mean, don't get more villainous than that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
And has Iron Man right at the end.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 was alright. Wasn't
I remember
terrible.
watching that with all the suits. I watched that at the cinema. I was pretty disappointed.
So, I like it.
I wasn't over the moon with it, but it wasn't. I would definitely say that's easy. 6 out of 10.
It's probably up there as one of the worst. If it's not the worst, it's easily the second worst. I mean, I didn't like... Well, Elektra's not great either, is it? But that's older. That's not part of it.
Electra's good still. I watched that not too long ago. It's good.
So you've got a 3. I'll go for a 3.5.
Okay. But I liked the actors.
That's for Brave New World. Do it there. And then what we got for next month? Outstanding performance.
In the same film. Main character.
Yeah, I agree.
So they can't be one of those ratings.
Yeah, but that was my
Listen,
point. I think the acting isn't that terrible.
You see.
Yeah, and the acting isn't that terrible. So if I was to give it a max out of 2.5 for acting, then you're probably going to get, I don't know, a 1.75, and then the rest of the film is that. Okay.
So the acting scene.
Because the acting's like 2.5 out of 10, out of 2 out of 5, and then you got directing, then you got overall score, and you've got your cinematography and your sound and such.
Yeah.
So yeah, the acting's not bad. It's not, for what they were given.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say,
They've
is
done
that
all
what
right.
you're thinking? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my thinking on the 3.5. So the lead we considered the best, and what would you say for your one-off word for the film, if you were to give it one?
No, that's quite hard. It just
I'm going to say pulp.
Pulp.
Pulp fiction, because that's all it is. It's a book you throw away.
It's dull. Dull.
Yeah,
That's-
dull.
Yeah.
Wouldn't factory be more correct?
Factory.
Yeah. It's just like on a production line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Factory.
Yeah.
Dull and factory. Excellent.
It'd be funny if I see it and go, oh, actually, it was really amazing.
Well, yeah, then you change that average. It's not going to beat Nosferatu at 32.7, that's for sure. At the minute, it's got 6.5. Okay, so, well, that kind of ends the show, I guess. So, yeah. Join us next time. We will be... Our next film of the month, which comes out in March. I can't even find it now.
Is it Mickey 7?
That's it, yeah.
Oh, we're watching that.
Yeah, so when I was looking for films to go into, it's done by the same director as Parasite.
Yeah, but this does look good.
It does look good. Well, it's good and great. Have you seen that before?
What?
Parasite?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
film.
it's
Yeah. So, Bong Joon-ho, I think that's how you pronounce his name. That's the director. And Robert Pattinson was in it as well. So
and it's got Glenn out of Walking Dead in it.
yeah. It's early March as well, so it's kind of soonish that it comes out. So that'll be
2 weeks,
that'll be
I'd
good.
say then.
What's it
Yeah.
called?
Mickey 17.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks quite good.
Okay.
We saw a trailer for it, didn't we? Yeah.
Did we?
It looks quite...
Oh no, I think we just saw them.
It's got some like surreal element to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I was looking forward to that.
Yes. So yeah, that's it from me, Joe, your host, and say goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sign
see you in a
off.
bit.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.